At night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock a ride. That's right, it's tricky and the title. Here we go. It's tricky, rock a ride to rock a ride. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky, rock a ride to rock a ride. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. Met this little girlie, her hair was kinda curly. Went to her house to bust her out. I had to leave real early. Girls are really sleazy, all they just say is please me, or spend some time to rock a rhyme. I said it's not that easy. It's tricky, rock a rhyme to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky, rock a rhyme to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. In New York, the people talk to try to make us rhyme. They're really hard, but we just walk because we have no time. In the city, it's a pity cause we can't hide. Tinted windows don't mean nothing cause they know who's inside. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. Take up mostly all of my time. I'm not singing, won't keep ringing, cause I make up a rhyme. I'm not bragging, people nagging, cause they think I'm a star. Always hearing what I'm wearing, think they're going too far. You're not those, don't use drugs, you assume on your own. They up a go, and lots of dough, but we just leave it alone. It's like that, y'all, but we don't quit, you keep on. Rock, shock, cause this is it. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time. It's tricky, 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 tricky.
Back it up against the wall. You heard him. Back it up. Don't make us put some pain on you.
Pain? How dare you use that word? What you think of as pain It's only a shadow. Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I think that we've all had enough. good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Yo, set your affirmations, that's
Equals some like a super business problem. This hero always solves them. It's your third best. I equals some. He walks the world in leisure. He might give you a seizure. Ask him what it means to change all history. Ask him what it is to have to hide away. Ask what it means to simply rip a verse. Ask him what it is to live under the curse of I equals some. Yeah, I equals some. Understand the pain.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
what keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
What's up, what's down? Tell me something going around. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth, come with me. What's up, what's down? Nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way. Always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack, baby things. Hero Shack, hey, Hero Shack, yeah. Hero Shack, daily things. Here we go.
There's nothing better than watching Diana in the back room fixing her hair, waiting to get on. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Hero Shack Daily Things, episode 21. Howdy, howdy. There you are.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you today?
I am well. I am well. How are
Well, I
you?
know we're supposed to update daily. I did absolutely nothing on any of the books today. It's been
Well,
a
we did
long day.
Comic Creator Club that ran excessively long because a parent forgot to pick up a child.
That
all.
wasn't why it was so long, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
was.
actually, I no, my day was different.
Yeah,
Um,
you're
and
right.
Timmy kind of picked up on it today. He was getting fed up, I could tell,
Why?
and so was I. Because it's almost like everywhere you look, there's like a pervert popping up out of every corner. It's just such. I hate to use this word, but degeneracy. And like today's club just kind of emboldened me because you know what, the kids are worth it. The kids are into it.
Mhm.
It doesn't take much to spark their fire, guys. We just got to make an effort. But like I was basically dealing with kids just dying to get their hands on a copy of Cyclopean today, and I'm like, we're missing the boat. We're missing it if we don't do something. Now
Mhm.
we are doing something. We're publishing
Gonna
books.
say, we are doing something. So
I don't know.
just
I'm thinking that we need to start
it's not
networking with other creators who are looking to make books for all ages. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean wussify your book, but it means writing around I don't even know if I should say it, but like I think like maybe I'm going to create a volunteer comic code and like, something that we can, share and stamp on our book that says, yeah, that means you won't see sex, there won't be, grotesque violence, and there won't be, cussing. Basically, that's the three things that you got to keep out of your book if you're going to try to keep it general audience, which is what an all ages rating really is. And we know general audience is a lot tougher to sell than PG or R, but if you do it well, you can make it, Kid movies are big hits all on their own. In other words, a lot of hits have been rated G. And I'm just thinking like we've got to focus and get more immersed with other, general audience comics.
Okay. There's
Boobs. Boobs. Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not against boobs. You go back and you look at Wonder Woman, you look at any of the Marvel ladies from the 70s. It's not that you can't draw sexy. It's that like you keep the nipples out. You don't do a lot of, we know how far they could push it, and they did. But like once the code was gone, I don't know. Boobs aren't even the issue with mainstream comics. It's really the content. I mean, how are you going to sell a kid a book when they're reading something they have no interest in? They're getting bombarded from all circles already. I think one of the big reasons they turn to manga is even though manga is not shy about any of that stuff, it's also not an agenda with any of it, And this is nothing new. I'm not saying anything anybody hasn't heard already, but I definitely think that like it needs to be restated again and again and again until something changes. I don't know. I don't feel like you're with me tonight, Diana. How are you?
I'm good. Well, you were talking and I was answering the people in the chat. Well, the people, Tim. I was
Tim.
just saying, he says
It's
I'm
tough.
like, it's not really like his books are definitely designed for a more mature audience. I would say.
Actually, you know what's funny about Tim's books is they have. Tim, you're going to be surprised I say this, but your book is less adult than you think. And I'm saying that from a place of experience. When I did Cluster Fudge, I thought it was like going to be like just a rated X. I was going to have to deal with weirdos and everything. I found out it wasn't hardcore enough for those guys. While you have an edge, you're not like it is more PG-13. You're not smut. Let me put it that way. You're not smut. And that's the stuff that just burns me, and I don't know, like I was seeing things
how many creators do we really know? Hey, Rick, how many creators do we actually know that we intermingle with, we talk to, that have the books that you're describing? We have people that we talk to, like that make super duper adult comics that only adults should read.
Well, we don't actually talk to any of them, but that's because of our natural gravitation. When we go to a show, we don't generally go hang out, at the.
That's true.
Right.
All right. Well, I know you're just really.
You know what, Terry? You would think so, but I got a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds that are freaking out over the Great Cyclopean, and it's overwhelmingly encouraging because every time I get on social media and I start looking at what's being talked about and what's being presented in comics, my stomach starts to turn because there's no cavity, there's no container, there's no walls where, yep, this is straight up for preteen and teenage kids, and it's got some violence, it's got some edge, but it's not gonna you're not gonna have to worry about the kid getting twisted because of your book, that kind of thing, I don't know. A lot of this I don't even really need to concern myself with, but it keeps coming up again and again because I got friends, and friends like other things that are happening. So they'll comment on something, or they'll like something, or they'll, you know what I mean? So it pops up in your timelines. things that I otherwise probably wouldn't see suddenly become visible because, you know, somebody liked a thing about Eric July, or somebody liked a thing about EBS, or somebody said something against Matt Barr, or Riley went and smashed, mint salad on a stream again, or, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Like, it's almost getting to the point where do we even know who's making what comics? Because it gets so convoluted. Sorry, I had to go open the closet for the cats. They lost a paintbrush under the door.
Don't ask. Is that what that is? I thought it was a stick of some sort, a little tiny
It's a
stick.
stick. It's a paintbrush.
Yeah.
It's a stick handle with a brush on the end of it, and I let him have it, and it's been going around the house, and now it got caught under a closet door, but they got it out. I have to watch them because they'll climb on shelves and knock everything out and look at me like, "Oops, was that me?"
Yeah.
Yes, it was. But right now I'm watching Hook. He's picking up the brush with his mouth like a dog and running around like it's a bone.
Yeah.
If they're not Mancoon, they should have been. There he goes. He's so stupid. He just ran right into the wall with he didn't realize how wide the stick was. Almost took his mouth out.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's a cat for you. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty convicted tonight. I want to invest some money in animation, whether I do it or we hire somebody. I want to start focusing on expanding beyond what we're doing. That's all I can say. It's just so, I don't know. I can't see, I can barely talk.
Well, I think perhaps once the Great Cyclopean 7 has, we've finished funding that, I think we should definitely sit down and talk about it because I agree.
Well, I want to get through the 12 issues. And as we get to the 12th issue, I want to be able to say, okay, we've set aside X amount of dollars for the animation. We've got, a cohesive marketing plan put in place. We have issues 1 through 12 assembled in a hardcover and softcover volumes that we can push out as promotion and as a sellable item. Stop carrying the 12 issues individually, go straight to that. And then in volume 2, which I won't even call volume 2, but in issue 13, when we start the next set for the next hardcover, the next 12 issues.
Yeah.
We really focus on fun adventures with just good moral stories. I mean, that's what's missing these days. Freaking every episode of He-Man, Masters of the Universe, ended with like the moral of today's story. Now, that was a little heavy-handed and a little exaggerated and not necessary, but every good cartoon, every good comic had some sort of overarching theme that you were reading and learning from.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm wanting to get back into that. I really am. And we're on our way. We've been evolving, but I think that networking with other creators who are doing the same kind of content, like perhaps Keith Gleason, perhaps Gary Henderson, guys that, are making kid books. I mean, they're not kid books, but you know what I mean? Kids safe books.
Kid friendly?
I don't even like calling it kid friendly because then it kind of brings it down in some people's minds, but maybe just not including kid at all. I'd like to think of it as a general audience,
So I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, holy cow, we only have 4 more days.
So
left.
This is funny. Hang on. I want to comment on this because while I know you don't feel like raising other people's kids, the real freaking fact of the matter is if you're making comics and kids are getting their hands on them, you are assisting in raising them, whether you realize it or not. And that's a problem in America that entertainment has forgot. When directors sit down and they make MCU movies, they're helping to raise the children that are watching that, because kids will see that and implant that little treasure in their mind, whatever it is. So even though we don't really view ourselves as parental units to every kid that reads our book, even though we're not truly raising them, it does ultimately come down to the parent. We're putting a brick in that building that is their psyche. They're building up a tower, which they're going to face the world with. And like, I feel like we are part of that building bridge. We're not responsible for it all, but we could be the one that screwed up that kid and made the wall go at a 45-degree angle and then down like this and that, who knows, but and really we can't spend our time worrying about whether or not we've done that. But I'd rather be confident in saying, well, I did my best not to do that, not to screw up the foundation or the walls or whatever I'm contributing to in a mental sense. Does that make sense? Am I going crazy?
No, but you're very focused on this particular.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going into an autistic focus mode, and you guys have seen this before. And I'm just being straight up and honest. It's part of like what I learned when I found out that I was autistic. But it's kind of like the troll book. All of a sudden, I became obsessed with trolls, and I had to do trolls, and I did 100 pages of trolls. But the difference is that was a petty little thing in my own mind that I had to eat away at so I could get rid of it. This is real. Like, if the Lord above doesn't return soon, we have this whole mess to deal with ourselves. And the world has thought God was coming many times before. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very possible that we are going to have to deal with this world another 500 to 1,000 years. And if that's the case, then what we do today, I don't know. I'd like to go down and be remembered as someone who was, hardworking and loved comics and loved kids and wanted to make the best of the world for them. And I think most people start off that way. I don't know if we all end up that way.
Right.
But I just keep getting more and more convicted. I just keep wanting to, like, I want to save the world. That's the Jesus in me. It's not me. I can't save the world, but like, because the Holy Spirit's in us, don't you feel like the desire to help others and save people?
Well, no, I desire to help others, but I don't think I can save the world. I
don't mean save their salvation. I mean, like, I don't know. I maybe I'm not talking in the proper terms.
Like for me, I just try to be kind to people and to love on them and meet them where they're at, even if they're like for instance, like when people are grumpy on Twitter and they're blasting everybody out of the water because they have an opinion or this person's done something horrific. And I'm just like, you guys just need some prayer because your paintings are way too much in a bunch, in my personal opinion. And it doesn't, that's how I get. But that's me, and you know that. Chris and I are
neurotypicals.
I don't think it's a neurotypical thing.
I think it is. You guys have such easy time with stuff.
We do know what they like. And we both work with children. That's pretty much our full-time job. So with that being said, it is again the same thing we've repeated on many different times on many different shows. Is like trying to get into the market without going through your typical means like scholastics or getting a publisher or anything like that. As independents, it's very challenging to do that.
Well, I think the reason it's been so challenging is because we've been trying to put a screw with a Phillips head into a piece of metal without pre-drilling, and we don't have the right bit, and because we're in the wrong market. Like, we shouldn't be going on shows that routinely promote, more mature books. We should be looking for and finding shows that are kid-centric. And if they don't exist, then that's the market we need to fill because they should exist.
Is one of the biggest, I feel, indie
locally, yes.
KidsCon, the one that we've attended, stuff like that. They have one coming up. I'm thinking of signing us up for, just because we have people there that do remember us. Remember that one young man came like running, "Oh my God, you're here. I can't." Yes. I mean, there are fans out there of the Great Cyclopean. It's just, we feel like we want to up it a little bit. We want to get more fans that are geared towards the market that we're trying to reach. So,
good evening, Captain Aura.
Hello, Captain Aura.
I don't know. I'm just, I'm focusing and I'm trying to figure out a strategy. I might end up being grumpy sometimes about it because it's just, I don't know. I got to force it through. It's too easy to fall into, like, the little mental traps and the emotional traps and the spiritual traps and the pressures and I don't know, like the desire to draw a crowd that really isn't ever going to be our crowd. I mean, I saw our crowd today. I was surrounded by our crowd today. And in the comic book club, Diana says, okay, guys, I want you all to stay in your seats. And if you have a question, raise your hands. Don't be following Chris around like he's some, Pied Piper. And sure enough, 15 minutes later, they're following me around. And you know what they're asking me about? They're asking me about the Great Cyclopean. I brought in some books so they could see them, and they're whipping through the pages, asking me questions. And how did I do this? And what is that? And are you really doing that on an iPad? Can you show me how? And the hunger is there, I'm in a small town. I'm in a small town where, there's not much, and they're full of interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like looking at a whole field, and I'm seeing a couple of plants grow up, and I'm like, man, all we got to do is plant these seeds. Look at how well they grow in that field. So, Terry, most of the kids right now are watching things online. They're all like Five Nights at Freddy's. They love Five Nights at Freddy's. A lot of Fortnite, and they don't talk much about the manga and stuff. But we're also dealing with like the preteen to early teens, so I'm expecting that to erupt like when they hit middle school. But so far, that's been the biggest thing. I get a lot of Five Nights at Freddy characters being drawn in the club, and they'll tell me who it is, and I'll say, well, I'm not against you using a parody of this character, but you gotta change it a little. So like the best character I saw today was was called Mustard Man, and he's a parody of Batman. But he was well drawn. He was well thought out. He even had a theme song written for him to the tune of the old 60s Spider-Man.
Yep.
Mustard Man, don't you dare eat Mustard Man. And it went on and on. He had a whole, but it was fantastic, and they're all getting psyched. They're all about to draw their first page. Instead of having them wait on a script, I've just told them we're going to start working on pages that we know have to be there. Like,
right,
the story involves a movie festival in the school, so they have to draw people sitting down to watch the movie. The story involves certain classrooms that are portals for their characters to come through, so they can start drawing those even without the dialogue. We know that that's going to happen, so I'm kind of cheating and going ahead of Diana, and I have a thumbnail thing aligned in my head, but I have to gather all these kittens up and get them to go down the same path. And
well, the story unfolds once the kids enter the VR movie. And what's happening is they have all these like splinter ideas and suggestions, but they don't have a real plot yet. They don't really know. Like the school turns into a robot. They know that they are going to transform into their character from the student to the character. So they have some general cohesiveness, but
okay. So do you want me to tell you the plot, even though you're the one in charge of writing? Because I know the plot.
You do know the plot? No, I have
know the plot.
What is
all
the
right?
plot?
So they're going to go to the movie festival. There are 2 regular movies and there's 1 VR movie.
Yeah.
In the VR movie, something's going to happen. They haven't decided what, but it's going to trigger an event that starts warping everything in reality. The Canadian geese are going to start coming into play because they're outside in the field and they're going to get affected. They're going to become robots, and they're going to start attacking the school, which also becomes a robot. The kids in VR, all the kids that are in this are in the VR room, are going to transport in the VR into the portals, which are actually classrooms that they've already selected. They're going to come out. They're going to start fighting the geese. The robot's going to help them.
Okay.
There is something about a chip being thrown onto the school that makes it evil. And then they have to get the chip off the school in order to save the day. And at the end of the story, everybody's going to come off the VR and they're all going to be fine. Yeah. Well, see, the Canadian geese are funny because they're a real issue.
Say that, like, obviously you've spent more time talking to them about it because
tons.
I don't have all. They haven't shared that with me. They're stuck on, okay, Miss Diana. So we're gonna like there's when I talk with them, they're stuck in their portals. Like one of the students came up and said, Miss Diana, I don't know what to do. I said, what do you mean? He said, I have my portal looks nothing like the classroom. And I said, but that's okay. You don't have to make it like the classroom that you're in. This is your story. This is your portal. You could design it because it's another dimension. You could design it. He's like,
I
oh,
think I know who you're talking about, and I think I explained to him that what it has to look like the classroom is the door. But
mhm,
once you get through that doorway, it can be anything you want it to be because
right,
that's your portal, your
right.
character, your thing. And what's going to be hard is I'm doing this a lot like just winging it. I'm like, okay, we know you all are going to be in the portals. So let's start there for you and you because we have like I don't know 10 different artists.
Yeah, we have
So
a group of students and they all like to draw.
so we're
So,
going to have them each draw their portals and then we're going to assign people to other things like I already have a cover artist. I chose her because of her immense talent and desire to do really good work. So I'm like, okay, you're the cover artist. And then I have like all these other guys, and I'm like, okay, he can easily draw this scene. I don't know if that guy can, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a pick out their best strengths and try to get them into that part of it. And so far it's worked. They're all very into it. Um, I can't mention names, so like it won't have the same effect, but we had all stars today. Every kid that I talked to was just booming, booming. And all I could think about was how we have to change, we have to grow, we have to be more into that market, you know. And Cyclopean fits right in. So we are there, but we have to grow it. The
right.
response is just, ugh. And this
I,
kid's like, how do I get there? I'm going to have my mom buy it. And his mom is sitting like 20 feet from me. And I'm trying so hard not to give him any books. I'm like, talk to Miss Diana, have Miss Diana give her the information. Because I'm ready. I'm like, dude, I'll bring you 7 issues tomorrow, man. I'll bring you all the alternate covers. And I'm thinking, no, shut your mouth, Chris. Shut your mouth. But that's where my head is. My head is always there. What am I supposed to do? This is where you talk, honey. Oh, great. So
I
with
couldn't,
that,
I had a
I think I'm
cough.
going to open up the chat now.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
grabbing for a half hour. I'm going to open up the chat so you can stare into space again.
I'm not staring into place space. I'm listening. But you're talking about the same stuff you've been talking about for the past few days, and that's okay. But I don't really have anything to add to that. It's not like it's a new thing, except
So
that yeah.
I've been talking for a few days and you haven't come up with anything to help yet.
What do you mean anything to help? Yes, I have, and you shoot it
What
down.
strategies? What strategies?
What do you mean? What strategies?
What are we going to do?
I told you what we were going to do.
Tell me again. We're going to do shows,
Mm-hmm.
the conventions.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We have a proposed time to go to a different school district to do for you as
Actually,
a
that's going to be useful. Yes,
Yo.
that's awesome.
so
What's up?
yes.
Yep.
There you go. That's all I
I'm
got.
slowly gonna conquer Germany. It'll happen.
Good.
What are you
Two-
playing?
Two copies of Melvin #1 have been sold in Germany,
Good.
and soon I will dominate the entire German people.
Oh my God. Well, that is fine and dandy. That's
It
all.
is.
Yeah.
I just was just thinking like Chris is thinking about like his audience. He wants his target audience to be smaller kids, and I'm thinking, well, but when I was a kid, it was when I was entering my teen years that comic books kind of became more of a thing.
Right.
Hey, if you can get it past their parents, good luck. I mean, parents don't often play a role in the teen life. You know what I mean when it comes to
Yeah.
what they buy, but it can be a hindrance too. Like if you
Yeah.
end up on the Donahue show, there's a dated name. But if you
Donahue.
end up, yeah, do you remember Donahue?
No, I remember
Jim, what's your book about exactly?
Jerry Springer. I think it was more of Jerry Springer. That's why I kept calling these drama shows Jerry Springer shows.
Well, Springer was like the evolution of it. Donahue was actually more along the lines of Oprah, and he was actually a little bit pre-Oprah, and he sucked. But my mom watched him every afternoon.
Oh,
I mean, I got to know Donahue pretty well.
yeah. That's why I kept
Out in the
referring
General
to.
Hospital.
I kept calling Anthony or Dark Gift. I kept one time I kept calling him. So Dark Gift. What's your final thought?
Grift or Gift? Because I used to always call him Grift.
Well, actually, well, it depends. I mean, I just call him DG nowadays.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him since Lightbringer. I was really upset about Lightbringer because of the artwork.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm not even talking about who. I'm talking about the quality of it.
yeah. Well,
And
you don't know
we
why.
really haven't. Ever since then, we really haven't had words. I don't know. And what am I going to say to him now? You know, it's like, dude, I don't know that whole thing. Everybody, you know.
Well, he has to replace multiple books now.
Yeah. Or let him ride, but I would replace him too. You know, I know what you guys are going through.
Well, I got. I think Rob has to do like 2 or 3 more pages, and then Melvin 2 will be, free of that, so I can finally, and I'll be relieved because then I can finally move on.
Well, in your case, you also are kind of benefiting. Like it's a pain in the ass, but the artwork is better.
I know.
It's like shit. You got a better artist.
I know. But
it's kind of like falling upwards, you know. Like, oh darn, you have to get rid of those pages.
Yeah.
Oh darn, this art is like 10 times better. Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
What are you gonna do?
But I like I said, I think for me, I think the audience for Melvin is probably like teens to like people in their 30s.
Well, now it could be, but I'm wondering like how big is the teen market? Like, because we're not feeding the kid market. My fear, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but my fear is we're marketing to a bunch of like 35-year-olds up. And
oh well.
Like, not because we intend to, but because I think that's where the market is, and I can't prove it. It's just a gut feeling because other than Ripper fans, they all feel like adults.
Statistically, that's what when I looked the other night, it is most comic book readers are men in their, late 20s and up.
But I mean, like the only group I see that's young and immature are the Ripperverse fans, and I'm like, oh, it's embarrassing because like their arguments are so high schoolish. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you guys are probably, except for Sturgis. Sturgis at least 40 or 50 years old, Sturgis. But like, there's a guy called Student of God, and I feel so bad for him because he sounds so young, and I'm like, you can't argue with a kid, like you can, but then when you realize you're arguing with a kid, it's like, oh, wait a minute, do you have your driver's license yet, dude? You know what I mean?
Well, that's just what I think would because teenagers do generally they're kind of trying to be edgy, right? Or like, you just understand, mom, dad.
Yeah, and then they grasp at something for a gotcha, and you're like, oh, that was so high school, dude. I'm sorry. That I can't go with that one.
Yeah. Well, because like teenagers always want with it. Okay. Oh, all right. I thought I was what? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's like, well, I sort of said before, unfortunately, I think Danny is right. That's who we're probably marketing to because they have money. Yeah,
that's a large part of it.
A little bit of money. Yeah. Either that or you've got to do it to the parents for the kids. You have to do the sugar cereal sell, to get the kids to test their parents so much.
We have to find a way to create a buzz. Like, for instance, when Google first came out with Gmail, you could only get a freaking Gmail by an invitation. And that made it such a buzz. It's like, ooh, somebody invite me to Gmail. I've got to be part of this. And I'm not saying like we find, you can only get a Cyclopean book by invitation. No, but there's got to be a way to build the buzz. And if you can build the buzz, then it'll grow on its own.
Why don't you only go to events that...
Go ahead, Tim.
Events that what?
Why don't you only go to events that are meant for kids then and sell the books there?
Well, we're going to have to start that, but the only one we really know about is KidCon. In our area.
Well, I mean, Google's a thing, and maybe you'll have to travel sometime.
No, I mean, we have been looking, but traveling hasn't really been an option. Like, we don't usually leave New England for any of these. We went to New Jersey, and I think we've gone to Vermont, which is technically New England, but
you've also said you want it to be all ages. So that it doesn't mean that you're not going to be selling to adults. It just means that you have to try and find a way to get it in the eye view of kids. So they'll pass for the kid, their parents, or
the thing is, if you get a buzz with
somebody to buy it for them.
Yeah, but if you get a buzz with the kids, they'll start bothering. They'll start either taking their own money and finding a way, or they'll start bugging like I saw today,
Yeah.
their mom to get it. I've never seen
Yeah.
that before, quite like that. But I saw a kid bugging his mom today. I was like,
You ever thought about
"Wow."
putting aside like starting a fund for traveling so like you can do more events?
No.
No, because I think ultimately, um, we'll be able to get support if we can get the right program together. This thing with the school is kind of big, going to another school district, because if it's successful, then we can start building a package and actually charging for it, which may sound weird, but like there are people that do that for a living. They go to the schools, they do demonstrations and various things. Um, in fact, we just had one at our school not too long ago. It's a guy who goes in and he paints these huge, like 12-foot murals on black canvases right there live.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds pretty lame, but it's not when he's doing it, because like he'll start splashing
Very.
paint up there, and he's one of those. He's a rough artist, but when he's done it, what he was painting looks like what he was painting. We have a picture of Martin Luther King hanging in one of the foyers in our school that he did. It's huge, covers the whole wall,
Yeah.
and it's not on the wall; it's on a canvas.
Right.
But if
Yeah.
you look at it,
I think
especially
I've
as an
seen
artist,
some.
what's that?
I was just saying, I think I get what you're talking about. I've seen somebody do smaller canvases at Hamilton Comic Con, similar to
Mhm.
that. He just
Well,
starts.
this guy like does it, and I don't know how the little guy does it, how the little canvas does it, but like he like throws paint, he
He's very
splashes paint.
theatrical. It's usually themed to a song that he's painting to,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
school, it is a lot of historical figures, and he had sort of like a little presentation before he started painting. Like in
Yeah, he
silver.
had like his own slideshow presentation with his own equipment. I was impressed because as a tech, I usually have to support that kind of thing. And he
Mhm.
came with his own rig. All I had to do was lower the curtain so he could get to the the projector screen, and it was like, bravo, man.
Yeah.
But like he probably got anywhere between 5 and 10 grand to show up and do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
And that's common.
Hmm. Yep.
So
So I
yeah,
mean,
it's like that. Whether you go around the country for a year, and you're making, even if you're making 2,500 a visit, but every place you go, you're creating fans. You're getting kids that are running home going, I got to get to this website. The books are free, and then I can get the new ones, and you know what I mean. Like ultimately, as far as
Yeah. Well,
marketing goes, that's the
the
best
digitals
plan
are
I
free.
have. Well, I say the books because most of these kids, although I got to tell you, it's funny. The kid that was hottest for my books today, I showed him the website and said, look, the first 6 issues are free. And his eyes got excited. And then when I clicked it, he realized it was a PDF. You could see that. Oh, I'm like, well, you can read them at least here. He's like, yeah, but I got to get the real ones. I'm like, you will.
and I
Trust
think
me,
you're going
you
to
will.
find a lot of that, and the fact that we're offering them on our website, it gives the parent an opportunity to kind of scan through it before they
That's
buy
true
it.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's a
parents
good idea.
may not be okay with the little bit of violence that's in the book. For some parents, I don't think that's going to be a problem with our stuff, because these kids are playing and watching these very mature rated games and movies. And one little girl said, I think, what is that? Deadpool, fourth grader. I watched Deadpool. It's the best movie ever. I said, you did? I said, it's rated R. Oh, I watched it with a grown up, and there was sex in it. And I'm like, yep, there was. I'm like, but my grown up was
Well, I
there.
mean,
Okay.
it wasn't full on, but they got the humor was pretty
Raunchy for a
it
fourth
was it was a little bit raunchy.
Well, the
That's
problem is, I guarantee you that kid is connected to the internet, and all these kids that are connected to the internet, we can't fool ourselves. They've all seen it. I don't know how much they watch, but they've all seen it.
right.
I would say Deadpool has a lot of funny jokes
Yeah.
though.
Well, it
My
No, I
depends
favorite
on
don't mean
one.
whether
what
their
to. I mean,
parents
I'm
put.
sorry. I mean they've
It
all
depends on
seen
how much
sex.
filters that their parents.
What's that?
No, it doesn't. Not anymore. We find that there are elementary school kids using VPNs now.
Yeah.
It's like they are getting so smart.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap, they just circumvented the whole firewall.
Oh yeah.
So like we've actually
Yeah.
bought
Well, I'm not
software
talking
now.
about.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
talking
talking
about, we used
firewalls.
to be
I'm
able to
talking
do the
like
same thing. What are you talking about then?
yeah,
No, what do
filters
you mean?
like say your Netflix account. You can create a kid account right on it, so they can't get
Uh-huh.
some of the, the more adult things. Like
Uh-huh.
it'll only
Yeah.
be PG or
How's that
whatever
keeping them off?
setting.
How's that keeping them off of Pornhub?
Well, you can
That's what they're
create
doing. That's
filters.
what I'm talking about. These
Yeah,
kids
Yeah,
are
they
I
like,
get that. I
but
get
they
that.
I don't think you are, Rick.
Rick, they
Yes, I
get around.
do.
They get
Okay.
no,
around.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure there's smarter kids that can, but there are some kids that wouldn't have the tech know-how to get around that stuff.
So I just want to put
Okay.
it out there. You know that Chris works as a tech in an elementary school,
Yeah.
So
and the thing,
let me tell you something that scared the hell out of me, okay?
oh my god, it's
We got
crazy.
this new software because of all this stuff that we haven't been able to stop because we didn't have the proper software. And it shows us what the kids are searching. Oh my word. Oh my word. Like there are meetings going on about how they're going to address it because
It's bad.
these kids are all over the map. And I don't mean geographically. I mean, oh my God. It's
Yeah,
bad. It's
I
bad.
get that they want to address it, but unfortunately, I think bringing it up, maybe it could be more worse than.
Well, no, what's going to
Yeah.
ultimately happen is we now have the capability. Well, we had it before, but it was limited and we didn't understand. We were only doing it to children that we knew what they were doing that got caught. But what's going to end up happening is we'll end up,
Yeah,
cutting access down to almost nothing. Like if we lock a kid down, they can only get like to certain educational sites and there's a constant monitor running. If they do anything out of line and they get around it, we know.
yeah. And that's I guess more what I'm talking about that you can put out there even at home or whatever. Like lots of companies have it for their
Well, then
employees
there's
too. That they
so here's the ultimate destabilizer and all of that. And 90% of your kids, no matter how much money their parents make, do this. They bring in a cell phone. And if they have
Yeah.
a cell phone and they get service, there's nothing we can do to stop that except for confiscate the cell phone, which is
Well, again,
crazy.
you can even put those filters on the cell phone. But
No, well,
again,
the parent can, but the kid can get around that. The schools can't do anything about a
Yeah.
cell phone signal.
True.
I find that having really crappy internet service actually is a pretty good deterrent. For
Yeah, but
instance,
not everybody lives in Ohio, man.
it's Idaho. No, I don't
I'm
live
sorry.
in Ohio. And when I was working down in Texas, the internet at the school I was working at, because I was doing janitorial, was so bad that if I took a break, I couldn't get on the internet. Therefore, it was an obstacle.
A wonderful deterrent.
Yes.
Unfortunately, go ahead.
So if the internet is bad for connecting to, but it's only good when you're on the school computer, they have limited resources unless they get a minute data.
Well, what we're finding is students will number one use cell phones, like the private data stuff through the cell phone signal. But like, where was I going with this? The connection and stuff is all like because of all the federal grants to improve the internet all around the country. It's all digitally fed now. Like you go to a school and 9 times out of 10, unless it's like a really rural area, it's going to be fed with digital lines that have digital networking inside. So like everything's running at light speed and stuff. It's like, it's stupid fast. Like we used to, when we did, for example, testing, it used to have to be done with a local server to get all the answers, cached and collected and then sent in for grading. Now it's all right through the cloud. And like, there's not even that. There's nothing. It's like, it's so fast. The only time we can bog the system down is like we get everybody to stream at once. You get like 200 computers trying to do YouTube and it'll slow it down. But
Yeah.
wow, it's incredible.
Sorry if I came off a little rude, Rick. I just this is Chris's field, and if he says they're finding ways around it, it's because he's experienced it.
I'm just saying,
doubt that there are.
Don't underestimate the kids, though. I know what you're thinking, but it's 21st century scariness now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I don't doubt the kids at all, because I was a kid that could get around it because I knew a little bit about computers. I knew how to
Right.
get around a lot of my the safety stuff my mom might have put on, you know.
Yep.
But
The tools they
there
have now are
are
just scary.
yeah, but there are some I'd say at least half of the kids don't know how to get around this. Yes, maybe half or less than half. A quarter will say for sure probably can get around this stuff, but three-quarters I'd say probably can't. And maybe I'm,
Mm,
you know,
I'd say it might be somewhere between a half and three-quarters, depending on the school district. But like the higher up you go in the grades, by high school, they're all doing it. They all know, there's nothing
yeah.
stopping them. In high school, though,
And
it's funny because
just
the
like
big thing they're
the
doing. Go
mosquito
ahead.
tongues. I was going to say, just like, they got around, being able to have the cell phone in class and texting by mosquito tones because the teacher couldn't hear their phone ringing because it was below their hearing level. You've heard of mosquito tones,
Yeah, I
right?
remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you mean like
Um,
when you said set your phone to vibrate?
Well, yeah,
no,
probably
but
sort
he's
of.
talking about it would put off a pitch that the teacher couldn't hear because it's literally out of their physical ability to hear that frequency, but the kids could hear it.
Oh,
Literally,
Yeah,
like
the
it's a
older you
literal.
get, the less
never heard
the
of
older
that.
you get, the less frequency, the lower frequency or higher frequencies you can't hear.
Yeah, the sensitivity goes down and kids can still hear it. So they were figuring out ringtones that like your phone would go off and every kid in the class would know it went off, but the teacher up front never had a clue. How is that
You
for
want to know how I
wild?
found out
Yeah.
about this? My pastor had it in a sermon as a a lesson in it. Sometimes
I
your kids
remember
are hearing things you don't.
I remember articles a few years ago all about that when it was going through the educational system where people were talking about it. I think they actually created a device that can detect it and give a visible cue. But like, yeah, teachers could not hear that stuff. It was just, it blends into like that gray space of sound and they lose it. And kids are smart. They're
Well,
too smart.
I was gonna touch on this because Rick was talking about the kids that don't know. What do you think a kid does when they don't know something? They go to they go to the kid who does know something.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Sometimes, but the kid
A
that knows
lot
it
of
might be the
times.
nerd or whatever, and the kid, the jock does not want to uh,
I'm
I,
just
you know,
saying. I'm just saying. A
I
lot
don't
of
know.
times.
associate with the nerd. So
I don't know if nerd is actually accurate anymore. Like they've got these new cliques among
well,
themselves now.
I'm sure there's new terms. I'm
No,
sure
I
there's
mean
new
like there's
terms,
new
but you
groups.
get my point.
No, but the groups aren't the same. Like, okay, so
Yeah, well, I get
for
that.
me, when I was growing up, there were like heads, heads, jocks, and like emos, and like the heads were usually heavy metal, but we all like smoked and drank and, did bad things. And the jocks were all working out, but they were smoking and drinking and doing bad things. And the emos were just, they're depressed and smoking and drinking and doing bad things. Now, like the
Yeah.
groups so different. Like for one thing, most of the groups seem very friendly, which is unique to me. We used to have rivalries. They don't really have the same rivalries anymore. The girls get more catty than the boys, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They kind of still get clicky, they're like they have that whole I'm prettier than you thing going on. And the boys have their edge at the top where you have the alpha males. But for the most part, they're just like willing to be buddies with everybody. They're just like, I've seen geeks and handsome kids and smart kids and dumb kids, and they all just get along now. And that probably has a lot to do with the way the schools are run.
Did you just say a dumb child? I can't even believe you said that.
I know I'm not supposed to use that word, but so would it have been better if I said less intelligent?
Well, I'm not going to say.
I don't know
anything.
how to phrase it. I'm a dumb guy myself. I didn't go through educational training. I'm a tech. What would be the
And
proper
hello,
term?
Chris Tomlinson.
Hey, brother. Yeah, Chris Tomlinson.
It's
How would
Is
you
that
phrase that? How would I say less intelligent child?
I would probably say, a child that struggles academically.
Okay, well,
Academically challenged.
Yeah, I wouldn't
all
say
right.
that.
Can I will
Listen to me.
detract
I'm
my
like,
previous statement and
Christopher. I
say
can't believe you said that.
why
I
this is a real show and nobody's watching anyways. So
Yes, sir.
Chris,
Yeah.
Chris in the chat says mentally incapacitated.
Oh
yeah,
my,
like I could have said that.
you guys are so funny. All right. Let me,
This isn't
We
well.
just
I
call
mean,
him
we
like
are
we
trying to
sees
be
him.
somewhat politically correct, but I mean, okay, I apologize to the world. I did not mean to say what I said.
no,
Are you? Are you
Well,
is that
yeah,
better?
well, you say it, but you don't say it in a mean way. You just it's
Yeah.
just
Well, actually, the mentally no, wait a minute. What was academically?
challenged.
challenge.
That sounds bad too, doesn't it?
No, it's they're challenged by academics. They have difficulty in school. That's all.
Okay.
It's not that
But
they're
they're some of the
bad.
most wonderful kids you'll ever meet.
Well, okay, so think about those kids that go to trade school.
Yep.
Many of these students have a lot of trouble with traditional academics, but yet you put them in a trade school, whether they're doing electrician or plumbing or hairdressing or whatever, and they do very well. And so it's just a nicer way to say those dumb kids, the smart kids, the nerd kids. I don't know. I just worry that somebody's going to get offended, and I don't want you.
those dubby dubs.
Yeah. the
Honey,
dummy-
if someone gets offended, it's a teachable moment for everyone.
Oh my good Lord. I cannot even stop. Just stop.
I learned that terminology from a wiser man than me. It's a
I'm
learning moment for everyone.
I will quote the great line from a Suicidal Tendencies song. If you're offended, well, maybe you needed to be offended. That's paraphrasing, of course. So.
Yes.
It's
I get
possible, right? Some people need to be. You know what? Offense is what makes us stand up and make change in the world.
the more you know. There you go.
GI Joe.
No. G.I. Joe is knowing is half the battle.
And that's 2/4 of the conflict in question.
Oh yeah, I just did NBC. The more you know, right? Ding 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 with the star with the rainbow.
Yeah.
Speaking of like sanitized entertainment, have you ever seen the jokes they had on the episode of Community where Jeff Winger went into a coma world and it was like GI Joe?
No.
And
Should I see it?
Oh, you should. It's hilarious. They make fun of like the half-ass animation and the
Hello,
content.
kitty cat.
Because they could only the idea is that they were only allowed to lay down suppressive fire, but they kept accidentally killing guys. So there's a part where Destro's getting away and Jeff Winger, the kind of the leader of the study group, he goes, "Hold on!" He starts shooting the holes through the parachute, and they get court-martialed for graphic violence and graphic language unbecoming of a GI Joe.
Can you guys see this stupid cat? I just
Yes.
bound him up. He is just so happy.
He's like, "You will never let me down ever until
He's
I
like,
want you to."
"Told me, master. It's fine." This is
Hey,
this is
kitty,
Braveheart,
kitty.
and he's a
Hey,
big
Braveheart.
PIA.
Pain in your
This
ass.
is the one that climbs to the top of the doors and stands on the top of the door.
Yeah.
And he also jumps on my back regularly while I'm walking and tries
If
to
you can
stand
hear
there.
me,
Sometimes he
Braveheart,
makes...
meow.
Does he attack your feet?
No, he doesn't. He's good about that. But his brother Hook likes to try to tackle my ankles. And like he weighs about 7 pounds. So when he hits you, it's like a
He's trying to take you out from the
So
kneecaps.
is Hook a captain?
what's that?
Is Hook a captain?
Yes, actually, Diana named them all. That's Captain Hook. This is Braveheart, and Belle was named because she comes whenever Belle's around. She always came. So
And she's,
They
That's
could
what
take
was
our
named
yacht,
from
but
Belle
they can't
Beauty
take
and
our
the Beast.
freedom.
you both were talking at the same time. What did you say? Uh-oh. What happened?
Go ahead, Tim.
I made a joke, but then you ruined the timing. So go ahead. You got the green light.
Oh, try. Sorry, we just talked at the same time accidentally. Of
It's
course.
the, it's a time delay.
Yeah, it is really.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, so she's not named after Belle from Belle and the Beauty and the Beast.
No.
It kind of lines up, but no. Yeah. It was because she had a bell on the end of a string. And the kittens, when they first got here, they were in my daughter's like apartment downstairs, and they would hide. So we would sit on the floor, and Braveheart would be the first one to run by and kind of sniff us. And if you rang the bell, Belle would come right out. And Hook was not really interested in anybody at first. The thing about it is, Hook and Brave are almost identical twins. Brave has this crick at the end of his tail that's almost literally like an L, and Hook has one that's more like a J. And if you run your finger up their tail, you can feel the difference.
It was one of them. Does one of them have a broken tail?
They both seem to. It's like a birth defect,
Oh.
but one is more extreme than the other. Where the bend is, that's the Brave one. He's got a harsher bend, and Hook has more of like it's actually more like a fishing hook.
Because
really interesting.
Our dog, when we found her, she had been hit by a car, and her entire back half was smashed. So after so many surgeries, that tail is just crooked. It's a little,
Wow.
there's a little bend in the tail, but yeah.
As far as we know, this was natural, but we weren't with them the first 8 weeks, and they were on a farm, so maybe somebody dropped a barrel on their tails. I don't know.
They were inside. No.
Well, they're also suicidal and crazy.
The person I got them from said that they literally were born with these little cockeyed tails, and they're very cute. They're extremely loving too. I've never met cats that really desire as much affection as these guys do. You come in to the house from after work, and not only do the dogs run to the door, but all three cats come plopping down the stairs with the dogs to greet you. So I've never had cats quite like that. We love them to pieces, and they're
hilarious. Like, I was leaving the office this morning, and Belle was in here, so I got to the door.
Oh, they're probably large.
I said, "What's that?" Well, I'll tell you anyways. I got to the door, and I said, "Belle, come here." So Belle came running up, and because they heard me go, the other two came down the hallway and ran in the office.
Yeah.
So two came to me to get in the office because they heard me, calling, and one left the office because she heard me calling. I was like, "Oh my God, this is a nightmare." So I had to go out to the kitchen table and stand there for like 5 seconds as they realized I wasn't in the office, and called them, and boom, 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 there they were. They're better than dogs. They respond to their names. They come and call.
It's funny. You just call them all
Your
three
dogs
names.
train them well.
Yeah.
My dogs don't come when I call them. Like, well, Tiny will if she's hungry. Chewy will just look at me. She'll come up and look, and I'll be like, "Come here," and she's like, you come here." Like, no, you come here. She will come if she's like desperate for attention, but typically she'll blow me off. This was interesting. I stuck that up there because I didn't want to lose it. But Chris's girlfriend has 9 cats. 6 of them have no eyes, and one has one eye. And you'd never know unless you see them up close. But otherwise, they climb everything.
Cats
and I can sympathize with that.
Smart. Extremely smart.
Well,
Cats
Brave is Spider Cat. And what I mean by that is I've seen Brave run up walls. I've seen him do literally ass overhead flips, like literally off the table. Like I said, he jumps on my back. He gets on my shoulder. He'll use me as a launching pad. He'll also use me as a wrestling pad. And the other ones try to follow suit, and they keep up with them, but they don't do the flips and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Brave's the only one I've seen do the head over tail flip. I'm like,
he's a nutcase.
She's the only one brave enough to.
Dumb enough to. You know how they say you're either really brave or really foolish? This cat, I pray when they finally go out, because they are going to end up getting out. They're already jumping at the door. They've been out in the winter, but they didn't go off the porch because of the snow. And I'm just praying. I've had outdoor cats, and it's like a 80-20. Are they going to come back? So I'm just praying they come back. I think they will. I don't think they'll actually leave us very far. I think they'll stay probably within 50 feet of us the way they're acting, but we'll see. It's scary. Oh,
Right.
what is he doing now? I'm watching as they're fighting right down there, like play fighting. Belle, on the other hand, has no hook in her tail. She doesn't look anything like them. I think that she was just a stray that they threw in to our order, and Diana insists that no, she's really a sister.
They are.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well,
she's
I've seen it where cats and dogs don't look anything alike from the same litter.
yeah. No, I think they're. I don't think they're from the
No,
same litter.
this is just Crispy and Chris.
No,
She,
there's a kitty fairy that comes along and puts abandoned cats in litters and says, "See."
she's my coworker, and I trust her, and I know that Chris has met. You actually have said that to her several times. I know you put this one in just because you needed to get rid of her.
I tell her that. I'm like, yeah, I know you had one left from the other litter, and you said they're brothers and sisters. Okay. And don't get me wrong, I would never get rid of her. Like she is. Each one has of course, their own personality, and they all come at me at different times. And Bella's usually an afternoon lover. She'll come up when I get home from work, and she'll purr and love on me. Hook is always the morning boy, and Brave is always the night. So it's like, yeah, okay, they take shifts. They keep me busy, and I have to keep an eye on them because they may jump on me at any time. But yeah, so I'm losing focus at the moment because it's getting late. But I am determined to focus on the kid marketing. I think that's really the only place Cyclopean could go. If we're gonna stay, if we were to stay what we're doing, in the circles that we're in, as far as trying to break into, I'd have to come up with a new character that's just raunchy.
Yeah, well, not necessarily, but you've got to expand where your reach.
Well, like
No matter what.
I want the older customers too, but I want them because the kids have made so much of a noise. They go, "What's that over there?" I think the only way
and
to attract an
I agree
adult
on
audience,
that.
unless you're like Walt freaking Disney reincarnated, maybe the only way to get that adult audience right now would be like to come up with a, like a Han Solo type who goes out and sleeps with lots of women. He's like Captain Jack Kirk and blah blah blah, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like you got to have, in my mind, because I'm 20th century, I think like Rambo, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The thing is, I think it's
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I think what we need is, well, the one thing that neither of us have, is a little bit more money or a lot more money, so we can go and get out there, and I think once I
Well, it
get
depends.
established, get my job and all that, get my job and get my some things going here, I'm going to probably do the same thing as Tim, go through RJ, start
Right.
getting things
Well,
in Walmart and that.
the biggest headache with having more money is spending it wisely. I've spent a lot of times I spend money
Yeah,
that feels right, feels good, but wasn't my best marketing choice. And I'm okay with that.
yeah,
But it also has its repercussions,
yeah.
It was a learning curve. It's like, well,
right? Like dumping money into Facebook wasn't smart.
you know,
Yeah, well, I did that. I did a campaign on Facebook. It did. I don't. It might have got me a sale or two at best, but I don't think. I'm not even sure for that. So I don't do it again. I would like for my subscription for Twitter. When I go to do my next campaign, and be able to at the celebrities and get in there, some celebrities and get, in their face so they'll see me.
It's an interesting attempt. See what happens. It could work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
anyway.
distracted, and I'm just trying to fit into the conversation. I'm like,
Because if
go ahead.
because if you're one of a zillion people doing it, and with the blue check mark, I've heard behind the scenes that makes them pop in their feed when they see the blue check with the blue check mark. At least that's the way it used to be. It's how it's running now.
Now the blue check mark costs a lot of money, and
Yeah.
Well, not a lot of money, but it costs money. And all it really seems to do is it gives me more characters per tweet, and I can go back and edit them under certain circumstances. And that's about it. And I get a lot of when you have a blue check mark now, you get made fun of. If like you're in an argument and
Yeah.
you're winning online, they'll start with, "Oh, so aren't you just the blue check mark? You pay Elon Musk." So you know what I tell them? I say I do it for the Tesla discount. They
Yeah.
go,
What's your
"What?
point?
Yeah, the Tesla discount. You didn't
I
know
just
about
said,
that?"
I just said, what's your point? I'm paying for a service like anybody else. I don't care who owns it, you know?
Yeah, but you're boring. That's boring.
Cares
I
who-
tell them there's a Tesla discount. They start Googling it. Tesla discount for X membership, and they come back and there is no discount. That's what they want you to believe. Ha, 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 ha. You have to go in and tell them that you want the Tesla discount. No way. Yeah, go ask. Go. I love messing with people like that. Like when telemarketers call, we had
But
a guy
you
at
know,
work.
like
He was
I'm
getting
thinking,
bombarded. Okay,
go
I'm
ahead.
waiting for you now. Okay, stopped. Go ahead.
Go.
I was just gonna say we had a
You
guy.
go.
He was getting bombed with telemarketing, and we're sitting there. He gets a call, and he's like, "See, it's another one." So I take it for him, and I'm like, "Hello, can I help you?" And he's like, "Yes, sir. I'm calling for solar panels." And I'm like, "We don't need solar panels. We have a nuclear reactor in my cellar. Tesla sold it to me. It's the new thing coming to all American households. Nuclear reactors." Really? The guy's like, ask me. I'm like, yes, really. I've done that several times. And because they're foreign, they have no idea. And they're like, Americans are getting nuclear reactors? Yes, it's a little mini reactor, I tell them, that Tesla sells. And they're like, okay, well, you have a good day. And I know that they're Googling it somewhere, trying to figure out, is this guy crazy? Is there a test market? What's going on? Are they getting little nuclear reactors? I've told them too that I also live in a cave and I don't have access to the sunlight. That one usually gets a weird response. They usually feel sad for me. But I tell them I don't own the land. I live under the land. I don't have any access to the sun. Oh, you got to tell them a story though, because then they remember you and they don't call you back. I think they note you too. You know, like I think after a while
Well,
they know you're
you
messing with
like my
them.
one friend. Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd like my friend. Yeah, he has a channel here on YouTube, Misfit Corner Scams. He's a comic artist as well. Um, and he started out his channel for comics, but then he started messing with the people that call and all that, and
Yeah, the
he
scammers.
started putting up those vids, and yeah, he started
It's
messing with them
there's.
and all that. So
I don't think you can have more fun with a phone. If someone calls you and they're trying to sell you something, that's a free license. That's like, please mess with me.
you should record those and start
Oh,
putting them
you
up on channel or
so
the other one.
I would,
listen.
but you know what? It's like videotaping. You know, like I always think, man, I should have videotaped that, like military helicopters. Excuse me. They go by my house and I sit there and I look and then I'm like, oh, I didn't tape it. Like I never remember it. Diana, you were trying to
Well,
talk?
I'm sorry,
No, it's,
Diana.
it's all right. That's fine. I was
He has
just,
something on his phone. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
dear God, Rick, I am going to put, yeah, throw the key away. I was going to say, in regards to Chris answering these dumb calls, he can come with these stories. You're right, Rick. I should probably videotape him the next time, because the stuff that he says to these poor telemarketers, at times he gets conversations going, and many are from different countries, so they don't understand what he's saying. But the best is like the solar panel,
Oh,
and
they're great.
and every time is different. But that would be like really funny. We could actually put it up on the website for some good laughs. That's all I was going to say. But it is getting late.
Yeah.
I have to be up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, guys. I'm watching
Yeah.
my beautiful little grandson, so I'm going to probably head out sooner.
Hey, am
than-
I allowed to? I can't stream our grandson, can I?
No, you cannot. Oh my
Oh,
God.
'cause did you see the video he had up tonight?
Yes, I did. That's why I was laughing.
What is the name of that song again?
Kill Run.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
no,
How's it go? It's got a very familiar.
it's got it's kill.
Hang
Can
on.
maybe?
Yeah. But what I was going to say, there's things that you can put on your phone to record automatically when you have a phone call. So
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, I just got to remember to turn something like that on, right?
Can you hear it?
Yeah, there's a
Can you hear it?
yeah, but it's
I
the
hear
point where they
that.
start oohing. Keep playing it.
That is the song. It's
Yeah,
from
but play the ooh ooh part.
what?
There's an ooh ooh part that makes it very recognizable.
What are you saying?
It's coming.
He's rocking out to this. 19-month-old is so funny.
Ooh 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 ooh, that one.
That's him doing the ooh ooh. You hear him? He picks
It's
up the
that
phone
song that goes ooh 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 ooh
and he
ooh
takes up the
ooh
phone and
ooh
goes,
ooh.
"Hello, hello,
So
is
it
anybody
didn't
there?"
sound that great over the microphone there,
Oh my God,
but
so
he did. He came out loud and clear. But the music is so it's one of those commercials. It's like a Yahoo
right.
commercial or something. But he was sitting in the video rocking out. Ooh 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 ooh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not even like
I think
old
there's
enough
a
to be
way
doing
that
that
you
yet.
can put that stuff up on, well, especially if it's all right with your
Well, that's the thing. I
daughter or
wouldn't show it
son.
without asking Jace. That's
Oh
why I
yeah.
was like, can I
I
stream him? And
I mean, he's
yeah,
on. I mean, they have him on Instagram, but yeah, I wouldn't.
no,
We
I'd
would.
ask before I do that. Yeah.
Because I know Dillard brought his daughter, I think his youngest daughter on my show one time. I think
Yep.
you were in the chat at the time.
We were
So
there. Yep. Yep. I remember. I remember
I
that.
would do it. I would do it if he was, if my son is cool with it. But without knowing, I don't want to like. The
Yeah.
last thing you ever want to do is rock the boat with your son. When there's a
yeah,
grandkid, you want to be like, son, if I can show him, I will. But if I can't, I won't. And that's just all there is to it. Um, God,
yeah.
it's just such a great feeling. You guys need to become grandparents someday.
Well, they probably should get
Well, I
married.
would like to, but
I can give
I
you
gotta
some
get the
tips.
kids first. I gotta get kids first.
Tip number one, get a wife.
Yes, I know that tip.
That's all I got. Then it just kind of happens. You're eating
Well, I
dinner and
think
one
number
day.
two is get busy and have children.
No,
There.
well, you got to have dinner, and then somehow between dinner and the next morning, you have a baby.
All right. So this is getting silly. I'm gonna get going.
Yeah, get out of here, kid.
If I didn't have to get up at 5 and I have to be like spot on because I've got that little.
Are you gonna make me kick you out?
No, no.
I love
Um,
you.
and as only Tony could say, okay, you
He
got
said
to
you got to go lay down. See,
He goes, you got to get laid first.
he means you got to go lie down before 5 o'clock.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm headed out and thank you all for coming. And don't forget, if you have not backed the Great Cyclopean issue number 7, please hop on over to Find My Comic. Don't forget to like and subscribe this amazing channel. God bless y'all. And I will see you. Are we streaming tomorrow night? It's Friday, right?
You don't
Yeah.
have to. I'll be here probably sometime around 9 o'clock, more than likely. It's
Okay.
become a
TGIF.
habitual. Well, it's become a habitual autistic habit now.
Yes.
Diana told me if you do anything for 2 weeks, it becomes a habit. And
Mhm.
for me, it's really if I do it for 3 weeks. Well, we just hit 21.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I got the itch. I'll come up with something tomorrow night. I don't know. I'd like to look at a lot of the old cartoons. I've been looking at a lot of the themes. Hang on. Let me do this real quick. Diana,
Yes.
it's been a pleasure, ma'am. I'm going to kick you out now so you go to bed.
God bless you guys.
This
Good
is a
night.
mercy kick. This is mercy. There she goes. She's still in the back room, but there she goes. All right. She can now go to bed. But I've been looking at all these themes like, Voltron, Thundercats, Star Blazers. I'm like, man, I want to like have a show where we just look at some of these old cool cartoon stuff. I'll probably get copyright strikes all throughout it. but I don't care as long as they don't stop it while it's streaming. Sometimes they do that. They'll like
Yeah.
blank out your stream, and it's like, oh well, that sucks. But if they let it go and you just get one of those, so and
Well,
so
we
has put a
just got to
claim on
remember
you.
to pause it, every, 30, 40 seconds or every couple minutes, something like that.
No, not me. I just run it. And
Yeah,
honestly,
we'll
it's because I
just,
don't care. I don't care if
we'll
a
just
company
mean,
comes along and gets the stream revenue. I just want to have it on my show, you know?
yeah, but I just more mean so they don't
What did I miss? I just got back from dinner.
blank it out.
Oh, I thought you were just like upset with us.
No, man. I was
You
doing
miss
everything.
everything, Tim.
Yeah, we called Ethan. We said we got to kick Tim out of CG because he's ignoring us. No, I'm kidding. We don't have any pull. We're not. I'm not
Well,
CG.
we don't know when you left, so we don't know what you missed, what you didn't miss.
All right, I got something I want to watch real quick, and I'm going to share
All
it
right.
with you guys.
Right,
Ready?
all right. Ready.
Let's see if it works. Oh yeah.
We're off
Isn't
to
that
outer
bad, man?
space. We're leaving Mother Earth to save the human race. Our star blazers, searching for a distant star, heading off to Iskandar, leaving all we love behind. Who knows what dangers we'll find? We must be strong and brave. Our home we've got to save. If we don't, in just 1 year, Mother Earth will disappear.
You guys got to remember that show, right?
Yes, I do actually.
I loved that show.
Actually, I don't.
Oh, Rick, you got something to go back and enjoy sometime, man. Because that was
I just
like. Go ahead.
I think they did. I think they limited themselves. So we just got 1 year.
No, in the world of cartoons, especially back then, they counted down every episode.
Oh yeah, I know. You never.
The Earth only has 243 days left, and like they kept going, right? And so they got to the end of the year and they saved the Earth, and then of course another mission had to come up. Oh gosh darn it! They just made world peace and another alien invasion. I don't remember.
What was the original title to that cartoon though?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't Battleship Yamato, right?
Yeah, it was like flagship or battleship Yakamoto or something like that. Or
all right. No, I was guessing. I thought it might
be, but you might have to
was that?
look that up.
Was that an anime?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Of the highest order, my friend. It had the best cartoon graphics of its era. I don't know about that, but I really enjoyed it. It had this gun in this space destroyer that looked like a naval destroyer, and it was the reflex gun.
I thought it was the motion cannon.
Oh, it was, but I think reflex had something to do with it. Why do I think that?
Almost like similar to Robotech.
I think it's pre-Robotech though. Like they got this engine. Maybe it's the reflex engine. I don't know. I could have something off. Why am I putting reflex in there? Anyways, they got blueprints for an engine from an alien race that was trying to help them defeat the alien race that was invading them, and they install it on this like ancient old battleship. But it was so kick-ass. And the gun was so bad that like they could take out huge battleships from the enemies no problem, but they had to like do this whole charging sequence and animation. In anime, it was always exciting, They'd start revving it up, and you'd see the light build in the front, and yeah, it was cool. Actually, the version I was playing was a high quality audio, so it doesn't have all the animation in it. But it's a good build. It would probably be something you'd like.
Yeah, well, try and check it out. I'm actually in this I've been thinking about revisiting my reaction stuff that I've done before on my other channel.
You know what else is weird? I think there was a reboot of it that I have not seen at all. It was like new animation, maybe even CGI. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I hear cool music. Is somebody like listening to cool music?
I mean, I can hear you talk. I'm just killing some things.
Oh, cool. Video game?
Yep. It's like Warhammer.
Oh, that is a video game now, isn't it? That used to be like a board game.
Oh, yeah. This is called Warhammer Bolt Gun.
Okay, let's see.
Looks
So
very
this look-
Robotech-ish.
See those rocks? Like there's something about their ship that made the rocks form, and watch, they'll use them to block lasers. And those are regular. I'm looking to see if I can find the wave motion gun there.
Yeah, it looks very Robotech-ish / original Voltron.
Yeah, I think it was before all of those, though. I'm not positive. Especially with it coming to America. You know what I'm saying? The way things come to America are always in order. Does that, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes what's released here was released, 20 years ago in Japan.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Well,
It's coming.
sometimes
All right.
it gets here before some stuff is 20 years ago, some stuff is 10, some stuff is in here.
Open the circuit. Gun chamber pressure increasing. It's at full. All the ship's energy is now in the wave motion gun.
Yeah, wave
Hey,
motion.
Skull
The safety
Team!
Safety removed. Gun chamber pressure at 90% of capacity. All systems checked.
Look at that
Final
movement.
safety barrel lock removed. Chamber pressure at saturation point. All circuits complete. All
Your
systems
mom's at saturation
go.
point.
Loading continent confirmed. 10 kilometers ahead.
They're supposed to fire it. Did I not queue up a good video for this?
Stand by. Venture, hand over the guidance system to Wildstar. So
That's a lot of chatter. There we go. Fire.
Any moment now.
Here it comes.
That guy's like, cool.
Look at this blast. Oh my goodness.
Hey, it reminds me of the Doomsday Machine in Star Trek.
Look at the power of this gun. I remember being so freaked out by that, thinking it was such a cool.
You're all right, Colonel Gann. We took off just before it was hit.
Now the whole thing will blow up.
Tony says it was originally made in 1974 and didn't get over here until 1980.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come in,
See?
floating continent, what's happening? Come in. Come in.
You know, the thing though, when I saw it, it was always Sunday morning before I went to church with Grandma. So it was like Robotech, Speed Racer, and Star Blazer.
Awesome. I'm catching up on Tony's chats. That's so cool. Because, like, I'm sure he remembers it the way I do, because it was on. We were watching the same same television networks. Like in the afternoon, you'd get home, and I don't remember the exact order, but Star Blazers would be on. Thundercats was one. He-Man was usually on the other channel against Thundercats, if I remember right. And Thundercats, of course, won. Sorry, He-Man.
For you guys. For you guys.
For me, I don't know about everybody. I just always
He-Man
felt,
would have won for me.
but Sword of Omens would have crushed sort of, the He-Man sword there. What's that? The
Grayskull?
Yeah.
Power
yeah.
sword?
Yeah.
It's just technically the power sword. He-Man's power sword.
Boy, they really worked on that name. Let's give him a power sword. Lionel has Sword of Omens.
Let's give him slightly gay overtones.
Let's give Lionel sight beyond sight. And he had a really cool flashlight.
Okay, who was?
Thundercats. Oh,
Yeah, he got to call people ho, and there would be no repercussions.
Yeah.
in fact,
You
millions
got
of
to
kids
come
all
for the
over America
hose.
were screaming ho. Thundercats. Oh,
The Thundercats
So
are hosed.
who do you think was a better villain, Skeletor or Mumbra?
Skeletor.
Skeletor was a little nasally little boy. I always felt like Filmation just didn't cut it. You know, like I didn't think the animation of He-Man was as good as anything coming out from really anywhere in Asia.
No, but it was also a cartoon designed to move toys
And that it did do.
a lot.
In
Yeah.
fact, if you were to
And
look
for-
at the toys and compare Thundercats against He-Man, well, He-Man kind of blows them away. Toys,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, He-Man was a little bit more popular. Although Thundercats were fairly popular.
Yeah, but they never hit that
were-
like epic like She-Ra mountain. There was never like a Lion Na and the Thunder Kittens. They didn't have anything like, but She-Ra
Yeah,
came out.
yeah, but the only reason that happened is because Mattel's Barbie line was getting beaten by the Mattel He-Man line, and the Barbie division didn't like it, so then they decided to create She-Ra because of it.
But my point is, they were only able to do that because He-Man got so much bigger than the Thundercats did. You know what I'm saying? Like Lion-O never got so
Yeah.
popular. Somebody
Yeah.
went, "Boy, we need a female lioness." They had like new characters in season 2, but they weren't like that.
How'd you feel about GI Joe switching animation companies?
I didn't know they did.
Oh yeah, they went from Sunbow to Deke.
Was this in their original run that we were all watching in the 80s and 90s?
No, I think it was like late 80s, early 90s.
I probably didn't even notice at that time. I probably stopped watching GI Joe.
Well, you can watch it on YouTube, and you can totally tell.
Oh, I bet, yeah. The thing with GI Joe was, I was a fan of the comic book when it first came out. I believe it was penciled by Herb Trimpe, and I think, or Trimpe, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but that's why I bought it. And I totally got into the whole idea of this ultra agent, like, you know, soldiers, and everybody had their code name and toys that went
Their
along with them.
specialty.
Yes. But it was to the point of ridiculous, you know? Like, it's Sergeant Toilet Paper who does the latrine. Yes, G.I. Joe. Every man has a mission. G.I. Joe.
Oh no!
A real American.
Somebody ate corn.
He's wrong.
Hey, let's tip it over while he's in there.
Damn you, Cobra!
That's the nastiest thing I've ever seen. Well, no, it's not the nastiest, but it's pretty nasty.
I think
that would be awesome with a light up eye.
I think some of the stories about some of the ideas for toys they had, like they were supposed to do a Rocky Balboa toy.
Oh, you mean they didn't?
No,
Yeah, critical.
they had the body mold, but they never went through with it. And what they ended up doing, because they're supposed to be like a Cobra, and like Rocky Balboa was supposed to be training the troops on hand-to-hand combat or something for whatever reason.
Because he's awesome.
Yeah, and they were going to have a Cobra figure go with it to train, Cobra troops. But since the Rocky thing didn't happen, they just had the character, the Cobra, troop trainer go by himself.
Shouldn't they brought in Rocky or Rambo?
I think it was Rocky.
Rambo would have been a better.
Yeah, it was probably would have been Rocky, but I'm just saying he probably, like Chris said, probably would have been better for Rambo.
Yeah, probably would have made more sense, but that's the direction they were going with.
But look what I found. I don't know how authentic or fake this is.
What?
I found a in stock G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch custom figure Rocky Balboa. action figure sealed mock. Oh, it's a mock-up. All right.
It's a mock-up, but that's still pretty cool though.
Code name Rocky Balboa.
Let me see. Cobra Troop Trainer. See if I can find the figure.
Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, I feel like I should put this out there just in case anybody wants it.
And knowing is half the battle, says Tony. Yes.
G.I. Joe.
A real American. Zero.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go up there and kick your butt. You Canadian.
I couldn't hear him. He went robot.
Sorry. Did I forget to mute myself? Oh my. Sorry.
Hey, Miss Diana, what's up? She's looking at the kittens on the floor. I know they hug when they sleep. The cats hug when they sleep.
Here we go.
Is she kidding around with you?
No, the kittens are kidding around with each other.
Sorry, Rick. I was kidding. I wasn't serious about what I said.
I know.
Okay, just to make sure,
I'm waiting to see a screen share.
Okay, here we go. This guy was supposed to come with the Rocky Balboa figure.
Does he have gloves on? Boxing gloves?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Holy smoke!
Yeah, but since the Rocky, it's I can't see it. What is that?
It says
Evil Rocky.
I J O E G.I. Joe.
Big Boa.
Big Boa.
Big Boa Rocky Balboa.
I know, right?
I bet you that might have even been the same body that they planned for Rocky.
Probably.
They do a lot of recycling in toys.
That was a bit of a half-baked name.
Kind of a dumb
There's
name.
a pun in there somewhere I missed.
Well, I mean, there were some toys they made that I had no idea were like Sergeant Slaughter. I had no idea he was a wrestler.
Yeah,
well, I don't think. I'm not sure whether he was a wrestler when. Well, I guess he would have been. I'm not sure whether he was a wrestler when he. Well, I know he was a wrestler at one point, but I'm not sure whether he was a wrestler before they put him in G.I. Joe or not.
Both. He was before and after. When he went to G.I. Joe, I think he was off the WWF. But he did do a comeback, like, I don't know, for a brief stint after the G.I. Joe thing. And before it, he was actually a pretty big heel. Because he had done the whole Iron Sheik thing where they did the Iran, he came out pro-Iran. And, like, they had a protective, people were threatening to kill him because the skit was so, like, anti-American that, like, wrestling fans were like, we're going to kill him. So they had to get him security and like guards and stuff because they were seriously worried about his well-being. And according to him, Vince McMahon just kept pushing the gimmick.
Because I don't remember Sergeant Slaughter before in the WWF till after he appeared in the cartoon myself. But I'm not saying he didn't appear beforehand. I'm just saying I don't remember.
No, we all have Google, so I'm going to look it up. Let's see. He's 75 years old.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Holy crap. Did you know he's 75?
Wow.
No, but I can believe it.
No idea. He retired in 2014.
I'm surprised.
So he retired around 65. It's 2014 when he retired.
Wow.
Holy cow, this guy had a career.
Can you imagine like some of the health issues he has because of his wrestling?
No, I bet you it's bad.
I bet you he's just pieced together, man.
Let's see. I'm trying to see. Like, when did he appear in G.I. Joe? Does anybody know?
Well, G.I. Joe would have been in 85 or 86.
It was the movie that he appeared in.
Hang on. Wikipedia is really good about this. 85. All right.
Yeah.
So then we just need to know WWF Sergeant
Well, can't you look up
Slaughter.
his wiki? Should tell
Yeah,
you
yeah, that's
everything on his
exactly what
wiki.
I did. Yep. Oh, it was probably in the wiki. I went right by it. I just looked at the thing. From the late 70s to early 80s, Slaughter had success in the National Wrestling Alliance, AWA, and the WWF. He was a world champion and headlined in 91. So he wrestled before, yeah, and after. He actually got bigger afterwards. He was a world champion after that.
Oh yeah.
That's kind
Well,
of
I knew
insane.
he would have been in the '80s because like after GI Joe ended around '86, '87. So
No, it didn't. It actually continued into the 90s.
well, there's been
Yeah.
other series, but the original one only lasted a couple of seasons. There's been several
Wasn't the,
series in the '90s, but the original series was only a couple of years in the origin. Thing.
wasn't the 90s one like a continuation though?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Was there time off between, like, are you talking they just transitioned to a different studio or they took a season or two or whatever off and came back?
They continued it with was it they introduced like Python Patrol and Tiger Force, I think.
Yep, those ring bells. Those ring bells.
Yeah, and that was when they switched studios. And
yes, he did. Hogan, as much of a prick as he turned out to be, was a real hero. And I don't know if you guys were into him, but I remember absolutely like marking out for Hulk Hogan.
I honestly,
a lot of us did. That's why he was so big.
Him and Roddy Piper are the only wrestlers I knew of.
Yeah,
Roddy was awesome.
There was only 2 seasons of the original.
So did they come out like in season 3 with just a new thing, or was there a span of time between them? Do we know?
Was there a was the new series a continuation then? I don't understand.
I don't think so. Let's see.
G.I. Joe Extreme started in 95 based on the Extreme line. Because, of course, now I'm trying to Google
which
it.
was, again, a different...
Well, was the night in the 90s like a continuation though?
No, if the Renegade or whatever the one.
No, that was not it.
The one in 95, the Extreme one, sounds like it was a separate one based on toys. Like they came out with a new Extreme line, so they had a new series. But I'm not reading it too deep. I'm just trying to find out anything. There's a lot on G.I. Joe. Holy smoke! Because it's a term for the military. It's a term for dolls. It's a term for action figures. Because the dolls would be like the '60s big ones.
Right.
Back when men were 12 inches.
Yeah, which didn't want to go to.
Hey, what? I didn't catch that.
There was a series in '89. There was a series in '89 that went from '89 to '92, and then there was the '83 series, which is 2 different. I think there's supposed to be 2 different ones.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, the last part of the original series, they changed studios, so that that's the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah,
because the idea is that at the beginning of that season, they brought back Cobra Commander after he had been turned into a snake. And that's the whole. Yeah.
All right. So the one thing I found, the first series ran for 95 episodes, and Rick has it like right. It stopped in like what 86, but then it says Dick took over where Sumbo Marvel left off and ran from 89 to 91. So I guess what might have happened, or at least in my memory, would be from 86 to 89. They were probably doing reruns. I don't remember ever dying and disappearing in the 80s. I think they just how they do that? Like G.I. Joe is suddenly moved to like 2 in the afternoon when you're not home. And
Yeah,
it's
they
all
did that
reruns.
with
So it's not a big deal, but yeah.
yeah, they did that with Transformers, He-Man,
Something
Thundercat.
happened with Marvel that they decided to change studios or something. I think Marvel screwed something up.
Yeah, remember? Well, Marvel sucked at doing business until they basically found themselves in the hands of Disney. They were like always bankrupting themselves, and one of the reasons that like the MCU was so screwed up in the beginning, as far as who they could bring in, was because they didn't own the rights. Marvel had sold them to Universal and to Sony, which is why they still do Spider-Man. And I think Paramount might have even had the Hulk. I'm not sure.
Yeah, a few. I think it was Universal, but yeah, they sold the rights because they didn't have the production company, and then they got fed up of everybody messing up their characters, and they decided to make their own studio. And they still had, several characters, that they had sold the rights to, or for,
The MCU had a good run. It was really good. I thought like the first that Hulk movie in the beginning of the new MCU was pretty good, even though that guy, what's his face, turned out not to be the Hulk after they got into an acting, company dispute, contract, whatever. What's his
oh,
name?
which Hulk movie you're
I'm
talking
trying to
about?
think. Not the Ang Lee one, but the one after.
Oh
Is it
yeah,
Ed Norton? Is that his
yeah,
name?
Ed Norton. Yeah,
I didn't mind him as the Hulk. I thought what's his face was better in the Avengers, but he turned out to be kind of a soft egg.
yeah. Well, I don't want. Yeah, I didn't realize. Well, I knew they changed actors. I didn't know why, but I thought the Incredible Hulk movie was better than the other one with Ang Lee because that was just a mess.
Although, you know what? I didn't hate it as much as everybody else seemed to. I didn't love it, but I find I don't hate a lot of stuff. Like people tend to be
It was
very
better than
polarized.
Catwoman.
I didn't hate that one either. I didn't love it, but I was like, it's all right. I thought the Sharon Stone character was the worst part of it. I thought Catwoman, I could have bought into it after a while.
Oh, no, you're thinking of different. I'm talking the movie with Halle Berry.
Me too. Wasn't Sharon Stone wasn't Sharon Stone the bad guy in that one?
Maybe, I don't know. I just know as a movie itself, I guess it wasn't too bad, but as a Catwoman movie from DC Comics, it was horrible.
But as a standalone, if you didn't take the comics into mind, it wasn't that bad. Halle Berry's not hard on the eyes.
Well, that's what I mean. As a movie by itself, it wasn't too bad. But if you bring the
that movie was terrible. I just couldn't watch it.
I don't know. I'll be honest. It's particularly from that era, because I felt the same way about her in the X-Men. Halle Berry could have just been sitting there with a paper bag on her head, and dressed in something casual but nice, and I'd watch her. I'd be like, yeah, she's nice. I like her. I like her.
She was great as Storm.
I was fascinated by her body in the Catwoman, and I think it might have been CG enhanced, but she had a to fit in that and look that well. That was quite a feat. I mean, like, have you ever put on a skin tight Spider-Man suit or something like that?
All the time.
No.
I literally did that during COVID, and I looked like I was freaking pregnant. It was horrible.
Well, technically, I painted a wetsuit and put it on to be one of my own characters, so that comes close to skin tight, right?
Did you look pregnant?
I don't think so. I've got pictures.
I did.
Or I had pictures.
I looked pregnant, brother. I looked like Spider-Man had been on retirement for about 20 years, and like he had a nice beer belly, and I don't even drink beer.
He changed his name to Daddy Longleg.
Changed his name to Why Spider-Man Wearing a Vest, Mama.
He didn't. You ever seen what was it? Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I know I have, but I don't know what you're going to ask, so I don't know if I remember that well.
So several years have gone by, and Bruce Campbell's older. they played into it. Because like in the two movies that I'm referring to, they'll always show him like suiting up. At least putting on the chainsaw hand. You know,
Mhm.
he's got all that gear he uses to fight the Deadites. In this one, at the first episode, he's putting on a girdle. He's doing all this stuff because he's fat. He's gotten fat and gross.
I don't remember that, so maybe I haven't seen it.
So so the first episode, he shows up at this bar like 5 minutes before it closes. But yeah, it's pretty funny. They really kind of played into the fact that Bruce Campbell has gotten older.
Right. Well, it's funny because like I remember when do not have a brain fart on this man. Hang on a second. Well, William Shatner, when he was doing the Star Trek movies, came back and he was too fat, so they were doing everything they could to hide it, and he couldn't lose the weight fast enough. It was there. As I understand it, they tried to thin him down in camera and stuff. That's painted on?
Yeah.
What
You painted that?
What am I looking at?
Yeah. Me and my
Yeah, what are we
Insecto
looking at?
costume.
Insecto.
This is me as my character Insecto.
You look like a rejected villain from the Tick cartoon.
What is that? I know what it is, but are you like flying, jumping, sticking to
Well,
the
I'm
ceiling?
standing on a chair. Standing on a chair. Supposed to be sort of flying, I guess.
Watch as Insecto accidentally locked himself out of his house.
Can you see out the headpieces?
Yeah.
Did you go to a kid place dressed like that, Rick?
Yeah. They had a Halloween. It was for Halloween. They had a Halloween thing at this thing.
Hey, Rick, how come you're the only one in costume?
Well, there's some kids in costume, but I'm probably the only
You're not like that
adult.
beer commercial where the guy shows up in costume and nobody else is there? And he goes, "Oh, I thought you said a costume party." That's cool. Was it fun to do?
Yeah.
Did the wings work?
Well, not they didn't move. They were just like wings that I got from a costume shop or a
So like they
dollar
didn't
store.
let you glide off of walls and ceilings and stuff.
Uh,
Look how strong you are, man. All right, look at that. I can't believe you did that, man.
I was dressed up as a Canadian Shield too before too.
Well, I'll tell you something funny about today. In fact, they wanted to see how we sold our books at conventions. So I pulled up the last convention we did, which was where I had painted my face. And they were all like, "Why do you look like such a girl there?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "I don't know. I don't like the makeup." And I'm like, "Well, I was trying to be like Kiss." And they're like, "Yeah, it looks stupid." I'm like, "Well, I don't paint anymore, man."
Yeah, I guess. See, I told you.
Hey, nobody can say I won't try. I'll try a lot of different things. I'm not afraid to take risks.
I'm not afraid to throw a chair. It's
That's
from
right.
IKEA, so I don't care.
You only get one chance. Do not miss your chance to blow because opportunity come down the hall and stuff. I have seen this one before. I can say this confidently. You need to make the chest and shoulders way bigger. He's supposed to be like the Hulk. I know this because I've tried to draw him a few times. And the creator has told me that I have not drawn his upper body big enough.
Gee, I thought the Canadian Shield was taller.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. So is this house built proportionately to his height? And would a normal person be too small to turn the knob?
You should have gotten some stilts so you could get some height.
Ah, you should have gotten your head bouncing off the.
I was able to. I was just able to do that.
I mean height. Dang, that's such a long day today.
Yeah. Tony's like, good night, gentlemen. Excelsior. Enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said. Yeah, absolutely. Good night, brother. So I'm gonna share my picture of me as Moonshine.
That's moonshine.
Yeah, as
Does that
Moonshine.
mean
Who the hell is moonshine?
No, when I'm dressed like this, I'm Moonshine. My wife named me. And that's Captain Aura right there with the Captain Aura thing under his jacket to my right in the image. And that's
Tony's
Red.
WTF?
WTF. I don't know what that means.
What
Fudge.
Oh no, at that point we were just looking over and we're all being like buds. We're like, yo, bros, what's up? And it's funny because my shirt's hanging outside underneath my orange shirt, and it makes me look like I have my gut hanging out.
Yes, it does.
That's a gray shirt, but it looks kind of like, yeah, look at Chris. He's just hanging out of the gut. Okay. Actually, I should probably take that off. If Diana caught me, she'd be upset. Why are you showing that for again? You silly man. Look at Tony. What the fuck?
Watch language, Chris.
Oh, did I read that out loud? Oh.
Uh-oh.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I disavow that language. I do not like to use it. Sometimes it slips. Which is ironic because I do want to make kid books. You know, I'm like, but that's the thing. I am human. I am real. I'll talk to the parents real enough. It's, you know, I don't think our comic book creators became like little weird imps or something. You know, like John Byrne is known for being a jerk. He's known for, you know, there were attitudes. Jim Shooter had attitude. Stan Lee certainly had something.
Yeah, or from what we hear behind the scenes, he could be a bit of a dick, as you might say.
Yeah, he was a Richard. Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna say this in all honesty. Sometimes those guys are the ones that get the real results. You know, like Steve Jobs got results because he was just like, no, you're gonna make my phone paper thin or else you're fired. And he would just push people beyond the point of sanity, but that's how breakthroughs were happening. In a way, it's kind of like that in comics when you have a really hard editor because they'll push you right to the brink.
Yeah. Well, it's just like what from that first Iron Man movie. It's when the bad guy, Stein or whatever his name is, I forget what the Stain. He was talking to the guy, one of the guys that he wanted to get to make the arc reactor like Tony did. It's like, well, you know, like Tony made this in a cave in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, well, we're not Tony Stark.
Yeah. That was one of the cooler points about Iron Man because like they played right into that. It wasn't just science that anybody could do. It was that Tony Stark ingenuity. The inventor of marvelous things. Even before he was Iron Man, he was inventing cool things.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boss inventor. You know, like what did Bruce really invent? Bruce Wayne.
Pretty much all his arsenal.
No, he bought that stuff.
Well, but he.
Well, Wayne Enterprises. He funded it all.
Yeah, that's true. That's
therefore, it's his.
True, but I'm saying like Tony was like, "All right, now listen, you got a toaster over there and a microwave. All I need is one missile, and I can make an Iron Man suit. So bring me a Jericho, and I'll make you more Jerichos. Wink, wink. Instead, I'll make myself an Iron Man suit," which was so funny because that thing was so primitive in so many ways, and yet they had it fly across the desert. You know, it's like,
I think it was gross when
not for long. But I'm like, how did these people not catch on that he was not making a missile beforehand?
There was that scene where didn't he have something up his nose or something? They were torturing him or something, and that was kind of gross.
Yeah, no, wasn't that the thing they had up his nose? The Egyptian guy had up his nose to keep him alive, like because he had given him the surgery. I thought that's what that was for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When he wakes up, he's pulling it out like it's like drippy, mucusy.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
like,
and he
that
was
was
attached
nasty.
to a car battery. He was running on empty, and like it was
Running
all because of
blind.
this. Yeah, and it was all because of this silly electromagnet that, like, I think that was actually what Stan
Oh,
Lee
that's
dreamt.
what it was. It kept all the metal pieces from.
Yeah, from his heart, the shards.
Yeah.
What an idea! Like, I can't imagine. He must have been reading a medical journal where they thought that might be a good idea somewhere. But he managed it in sci-fi terms. It worked.
Yeah.
And they kept that going like for years. I remember that being an issue when I was reading it. You know, he always had to keep the armor charged. And if he failed, that shrapnel all of a sudden could just get into his heart because it didn't, the muscle didn't, get any calloused or grow around it. It didn't, it was always threatening. You always had to worry
Yeah,
about the
which sort
shrapnel.
of makes no sense too. That like
Does it?
muscle didn't grow around it or whatever.
Well, that and plus, the world's greatest surgeons, granted it wasn't 21st century, but they couldn't figure out how to get this sharpener out. Well, I don't think I buy that. Not in the late 20th century. Well, eventually that's what happened though, right? They must have taken it out in surgery.
Yeah, eventually he got it. The shrapnel had been taken out. I'm not sure when they did that in the comics.
I
But
don't quite remember.
you would think once he got to a regular hospital in modern day, that they would have been able to get that shrapnel out.
Yes, but he has to consult Jarvis first. And I mean the butler, not some AI personality. Because that used to be a butler. Like he used to have a
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got
his own.
he got eaten by the Marvel zombies. It was great.
I actually have that here somewhere. When I first started getting back into comics, that was one that was handed to me as a gift. And the guy said, "Go ahead, check it out. This is like the only Marvel book you're going to like." And I did. I loved it. It was great because the whole zombie idea.
Yeah, and that came actually out of the Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Well, it was a great storyline that could only go to Doom. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, these
Yeah.
aren't going to end up happy, but what a storyline. And I think at the end of the one I have, it implies that they're going to span out to the galaxy. That was the next step.
Yeah. I read Beyond the Earth, or I believe I have anyways. But yeah, it came out of the Ultimate Fantastic Four because Reed Richards was, looking through other realities, and one contacted him, and it was the Marvel Zombie Universe Fantastic Four. So
Reaching
the
out to
ones
get
that
them.
came, yeah. Well, but they played it off that they didn't played it off that they weren't zombies or anything,
I think there's
And
oh, okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, there's some messed up things in there. Like, there was the one universe where like She-Hulk wasn't part of the Fantastic Four or something, and I think she had
Well,
gotten
in the
bit.
main universe, at one point, She-Hulk was part of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and she got bit, and she ate Reed Richards and Sue's kids.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's pretty dark. Or like Spider-Man eats Aunt May. So every time he gets depressed or down, he starts getting hungry.
And in the Ultimate Fantastic Four, that Fantastic Four were the Frightful Four.
All right. I'm going to do this real quick. So I was actually fortunate. I rolled back my camera from my chair, and there it is. This is the one that I done read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that one.
Yeah.
My favorite.
And that's
my favorite
how
one
many,
was.
how many issues is in that?
No idea. Let me see.
The one I liked was Marvel Zombies 3, which had Machine Man, and I forgot her name.
I'm not sure where it's going to say it.
Should say near the front in the indicia, I think. This is a collection of blah blah blah.
Part 1 of 5. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think the first thing was like 5 comics. And Marvel Zombies 2, Marvel Zombies 3.
It's thick as all get out. Torn from the pages of the Ultimate Fantastic Four. So it must be that run. The back is like this, which is kind
Yeah.
of neat. I guess
Well,
that's a
they say
homage
torn from
to
because
Marlene.
they say torn from is because that's where they first introduced Marvel Zombies with the Frightful Four zombie
Right.
versions of the Fantastic Four. But then they got its own series, which was Marvel Zombies.
So this opens up, and of course, this could be the other universe. I guess that's Magneto, and the
Oh,
zombies are
that
about
one
to
was pretty.
eat him.
The way he died was pretty cool. Because he
Yeah, he's fighting the zombies. He's part of the resistance.
there was a part with where I guess Captain America wasn't it was something else America. He wasn't Captain, but he uses his shield to pretty much cut off the top of his head. Like that was
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of seeing stuff now. Yeah, Magneto took off Hawkeye's head, and oh yeah, this is really this gets intense.
yeah.
I
And then
did read it, but it's been a long time since I looked at it, and now I'm looking for.
the way he went out was pretty cool. He's like, "I hope you all choke, and they're all ripping him to pieces.
Did the Silver Surfer ever get turned?
I have no
Oh
idea.
yeah, wait, he's fighting there. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, it looks
they
like
ate
Wolverine
him.
got him.
Yeah, I know the second
Yeah,
one.
they ate him and they ate Galactus.
Yeah, I know the second one. They ate Ego, the living planet.
I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
I've
the
seen
Hulk.
this
Yeah,
second
okay,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, the Hulk by the end of the Marvel Zombies series, he had changed the Hulk so much that his bones were all because the idea is that they're decaying, so their powers are not working as well as they used to.
Well, I think I have the scene where it looks like Galactus gets eaten. Oops,
Yeah.
poor guy. Big guy's dead.
And then they all get the power cosmic because they eat Galactus.
Uh-oh.
He's definitely not happy about that.
Yeah.
Getting eaten. And
Yeah,
Doom is
yeah,
vicious.
yeah. Giant Man is it Giant Man? He kept was it Black Panther alive and just would only chop off pieces of him. So
Yes.
yeah,
That was gruesome too.
yeah. It's so by the end he's hopping out with like his foot missing and one of his arms missing.
Yeah, and he ends up with a cybernetic arm or whatever.
Yeah,
A robotic arm.
yeah. So the
Yeah,
idea is
I might have to reread this. This is pretty cool.
yeah. So they leave and I guess the Earth recovers and Black Panther is like the leader or something, and they've rebuilt society. So, but the Marvel zombies they come back.
Of course they do. They got to have a sequel.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it sells well. It's a unique premise, and it's like The Walking Dead. Once you're into it, you want to know how it ends.
well, Marvel Zombies 3 was my favorite one.
Yeah, this is definitely not that, but that was a gift, and I enjoyed it. That was the last Marvel book I enjoyed.
Yeah. Let's see.
Anyways,
yeah. See, it was Machine. It was it Machine Man and Jocasta?
Yep.
And that for some reason Machine Man was really dope in that one.
I always liked Machine Man, and I think that one might have been Barry Windsor Smith art, which was really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the John or Jack Kirby version. It was, but it wasn't. It was a better style.
Yeah. And then let's see. They had Marvel Zombies 4, which they went to the Western characters, the Western version of the Marvel universe, and they had that. That was. And then what was that one that's supposed to be like the Marvel's version of the Justice League? Supreme
That wasn't
Squadron.
the Avengers.
No, it wasn't. It
The
was
Avengers.
Squadron
Oh, yeah.
Supreme.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, that wasn't. They weren't exactly Marvel characters, but they had Marvel
Yeah.
Zombies versus, or the Marvel Zombie version of that.
Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Created by Jim Shooter, George Perez, first appeared in the Avengers, blah, 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 blah. Didn't they have their own miniseries or something?
I don't know.
I thought
What, the
they did.
Squadron Supreme?
No, Machine Man and
Yeah,
Jakarta.
they've had a
Oh,
few.
yeah.
Well, they've had many. Oh, Machine Man, yeah, did I know?
I just thought Machine Man was the dopest thing in Marvel Zombies 3.
Okay, wait a minute. I found something. Machine Man and Jocasta are reunited in episode Victory. Tom DeFalco wrote the script, co-plot, and Barry Windsor Smith provided art and colors. Yes, the Machine Man miniseries in 2020. That can't be right. I wasn't reading it then. Let me. That's an AI thing. Let me look that up.
No, it's
8485. I just found it. Yeah.
You know, it probably sucks though because it's Marvel in 2020.
Why am I so big?
I don't know. That's a you
Maybe
problem.
they reprinted it. They might have reprinted it in 2020, but
no.
This artwork is the Barry Windsor Smith look. Hang on, let me make it bigger if I can. And yeah, that was awesome stuff. I don't know if that's what you're remembering, Tim, but I remembered Barry Windsor Smith. That's who it is. This guy's art was phenomenal, especially on this series. Let me see if they have. Oh yeah, see how he built it? Issue 1, it was kind of like all wires, and then it starts coming together, and then he's like, yeah, Machine Man. I wonder if they have any samples. There's Jack Kirby's style. I don't know this one at all, and I'm not sure why they got Spider-Man there other than he's popular. Yeah, you don't. So this is not the one you remember.
No, it's not. I'm trying to find it.
This one was beautiful, man. I'm telling you, this was a great series. I wonder what happens if I click in it, if they'll give me any.
Come on, Google, stop sucking so much.
Well, the AI just got me all confused by calling it 2020. That was rather deceptive.
I mean, have we any of us been paying attention to Marvel since then? Not really.
Yeah, but Barry Windsor Smith, my goodness.
Didn't he only get famous because he did that Marvel Comics Presents Weapon X?
Well, I mean, that might be what he's best known for, but I always loved his art. I remember him, for decades and decades. Hang on. I can actually stop that and start this. And I need what do they call that? A producer to just pull this stuff up. But like his art has always been distinctive and just very tight. And I guess that's a picture of him there too, because it comes from the Marvel database. But he did Weapon X. There he is on Weapon X, which actually reminds me a lot of his cover on the Machine Man stuff. Let's see if I can make that bigger. No, it opened up somewhere else, but yeah, man. Good art. I mean, he's someone that I would be, impressed to sit and learn from. I would call him a master. Not the master, but a master. There's his Conan.
Not a master of disaster?
I'm sharing a screen here. This is what I'm talking about right here.
Hang on, let me switch over because I'm looking at all this Barry Windsor stuff. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. Let's see, bigger. Oh, you're on the zombies there?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the Marvel Zombies 3 that I was talking about.
Oh, what is she doing to Vision?
I guess she's keeping him active or alive or something.
But he's like a robot. He can't be a zombie, right?
No.
Elsewhere in Kingpin's stronghold. Oh, and she just looks beautiful, doesn't she?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kingpin's, I guess, a zombie also.
I like how they retain their intellect to some degree there.
Yeah.
Is that Cyclops? It kind of.
No, that's not. That's Machine Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have recognized him, but that's cool. He can't turn either, I bet, right?
No, I don't think so.
See,
that's
Marvel has such a plethora of actually cool characters that they could really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I say let it burn. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I'm at that point too. I've been there for a while. It's just it gets really hair raising when they do stupid stuff and all the chatter is about it. It's like, hey, look, they made so and so this or that. Well, surprise! What, you didn't expect that?
Marvel and DC are like an old girlfriend that you don't even care about anymore.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like whatever. I don't care.
Well, you hear stuff, you know. I heard she did 4 guys down at the nightclub last week.
I don't care.
I'm glad I wasn't one of them. Thank goodness I'm out of that. You know, yeah, that's bad.
That's Marvel and DC in a nutshell. You look at the characters and like, oh wow, that's something.
The problem with Marvel and DC, I really think, is they don't really know what they're doing in terms of marketing to, you know, to the youth of America. I think they're too caught up in trying to, you know, write stories that are compelling to people they think should be reading books.
And hello, Joey. Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Let it
Yeah,
burn.
yeah, they're too trying to get an audience that doesn't want to read their stuff.
Yeah.
Just to begin with.
Yeah. Well, that audience has never been. See, the thing with the 21st century, especially this beginning part, is they're trying to push people into positions they don't want, they don't ask for, but they think that it's good for, you know, inclusion things and whatnot. Like, there's a whole initiative with technology to push little girls into it, which if girls want to do it, I'm all for it. But there's a reason like girls don't naturally gravitate to it because they don't care about it, you know. Some do, some get into it, but the vast majority are kind of like, meh, it's a class. It's like it's kind of like it's just not.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
not
like,
as sexist as natural attraction.
It's just like you don't see too many women wanting to go work on an oil rig.
Or you know what?
Or you
It's
don't
weird.
see many
I've seen
wanting
those. I never want to work on an oil rig if possible. That you mean the ones out in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that one. There was a video, and that's all they do through it. And they show the guys like they're underneath the water at the leg trying to repair something, or they're on the deck and a storm's coming and a wave that's like surely going to wipe them out comes right about, and somebody pulls them inside just as it hits, and it's like, wow. And they only make like what, 80,000 a year or something.
And there's, you know, people, you know, it's like, well, you don't see
lot of
too many
money.
women working in the sewers.
Well, I don't know who's working in the sewers. I haven't checked it. They could all be women for all I know. I mean, I shouldn't even say this, but what is a woman these days?
Oh, that's simple. Tits and a vagina.
But you know what I mean, right? I mean, it depends on the state you're in and how they handle gender and stuff. I mean, some states are going to, you know, allow certain pronouns and other states aren't. The South tends to be more harsh about it than the North. The East and the West more harsh than the Middle.
Yeah. I say they can take their pronouns and shove it straight up their ass.
I can't say it like that, but I can tell you I'm not into pronouns. I'm into like amateur nouns. You know,
I'm more into I'm gonna start asking people what their adjectives are.
I just want to know their name. If I can't tell your gender by your name, I'll just use the name. So, Astro, how is Astro feeling now? Astro,
Although
do you want to
sometimes that's hard.
What's that? You roboted, bro.
It's just like that rebellious
Although
pig
sometimes
streak.
that's hard, just to do it like that. Sometimes,
I've gotten
Yeah.
very good at it because I've
yeah,
been in positions
sometimes
where I
it's
didn't
hard
know.
because when you just start talking,
It's natural, right? I get
yeah.
you.
Joey says, "Let the sales tell them what to keep. Survival of the fittest. Don't don't let the success of the good books prop up the bad ones to exist." Well, if they want to use their money to prop up the bad ones, that's up to them as a company.
Well,
Not my money though.
here's the funny thing. You want to know how good American comics used to have it?
What?
American comics were so big and so popular that they could have a crap book and it would sell better than the best-selling books of today, and they would be able to hold on to that book because the biggest ones were selling hundreds of thousands, if not, seven figures.
The
Millions
issue
sometimes.
is pretty.
Units in terms
Everyone's
of.
missing the point, though. Is the point is they don't care and they're not trying.
Well, yeah,
That's why I don't care. That's why I don't care when I see somebody complaining about the next Batman movie, or like, I don't care because DC and Marvel don't care. They're never going. They're never going to care.
But that's where we, as the independent creators of this generation, have to pave the way for the next one because they're going to have a better shot at big time than we are. But eventually, these big talented, they're going to fall to something. The question is, whoever gets that next big break, can they keep their wits about them, not to just sign with one of these two giants, Warner Brothers or Disney?
Yeah, be like Upchurch and not
I
not do
can't.
it.
I can keep my wits to not to. I've already
Yeah, but
decided
you're a little.
that,
You're not thinking clearly. What happened? What would happen, right? If some agent comes to you and says, "Hey, Rick, we've been talking. How about $20 million down, and we'll give you 8% of all, and all you got to do is sign over Canadian Shield. Yeah, we want the likeness, and yeah.
Nope. I'm not gonna do it.
unless I have some sort of control in doing stuff. Nope.
Well, we can negotiate that. Just sign here. Take the 20 million to get started.
No.
I wait till
Isn't
we
that where
have
the
everything
burn
in
is? Though?
writing.
The burn is what they do is they come to you with cash first, and they're like, "Yo, hey, here, the first hit's free. Take a couple of thousand. We're going to put you up in the hotel over here." No. It's a 5-star. You need something from home. We'll have your driver pick it up. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
You get up there. There's a fine meal.
Yeah.
There's a TV running your favorite TV show.
We got some fine hoochie mama up there with you.
Nope. They won't do that because they know Rick's a Christian. Instead, they'll have a pastor stop by. Hi, Rick. I heard you were offered $40 million for your character.
They
The
told
Lord
me you're going to give
One
me
for 20
puppy.
to 40.
Yes, see how it went up? The Lord
But-
sent me to tell you, sell high, yes. But you know what? Then somebody could come along and go, yeah, but what would they say if, well, you still have your other characters and you'll have millions of dollars to pump them up. Oh, it's tempting, isn't it? Isn't it? Are you not at least tempted? Because I know I would be.
No.
I would be tempted. I don't think I could with
Well,
Cyclopean.
maybe I might be tempted. Maybe I might be tempted for a second or two, but the character, especially the main characters that I have, my team characters, I wouldn't even think of selling them. Would I give them one of my lower characters that I've barely done anything with? Sure.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I wouldn't sell Tony because that wouldn't be right. But
but I've had sort of time to think, and people have sort of asked me that before. Me and Dillard have talked about it before, and it's like, no, I wouldn't sell Canadian Shield. I wouldn't sell Snowdrift. I wouldn't sell Insecto, the Wiz, the Flame. I wouldn't sell them. Yeah, you want to do a movie for me? Fine, let's figure out the deal. I have creative control. I have a bunch of controls, sort of like what was it? The guy that recently, the creator of one of the mangas that they made into a live action. I think the not Naruto, the Luffy one.
The Luffy one? Wasn't that the name of it?
Here,
Luffy?
Luffy. No,
Is that
that's
the
one of
name
the
of
characters in it. No,
Oh, you're trying to think of
I
the
forget what
creator?
it's. Well, I'm not trying to think of the creator. I'm trying to think of the series. One of the characters is Luffy D Monkey or something like that. I forget what it is, but I think you know what I'm talking about. In his
Probably.
creating that hit, I think it was that one. In him creating that, he said, "You're not making it unless I'm in there and I have a bunch of control because I don't want you messing up my stuff." I'm paraphrasing what happened, from what I know. Oh, One Piece, says Joey. Yeah, One
Oh,
Piece.
yeah. Okay.
And
That's
unless
an
I had the sort
interesting
of control,
series too.
and unless I had some sort of control like that, I wouldn't sign it because people have said, why don't you go to DC or Marvel before, but with my characters? No, they'll mess them up. I don't want them messing my characters up.
Yeah,
See, I'm like,
I wouldn't sell at all. I'd rather have control of all over. I mean, I'd rather have control of all of my stuff.
Yeah, sure, I'll license it to you as long as I have, a big say in how things are done. And it might not be One Piece. It might have been another manga, but I'm just thinking it was that one because it's one that I remember recently that they made into live action.
Here's my counter deal offer. They give me all the money. I keep my characters, and I go on.
yeah, no, see, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm thinking 2-year-old grandson, 30-year-old son, 2 daughters, a stepson, a wife, and an expected lifespan of mine to be like tomorrow. Because I have no confidence in my extended life. I'm like, okay, God, I don't know what you're gonna do with an old white guy. So I'm ready anytime you are. I wake up every morning full of love and joy, and I go, all right, you want me to go another day? Here we go. I thought last night would be it. I thought maybe, I don't know, but no, I'm not suicidal or wishing for death, but I'm like, I don't know what's left for me. And only he does. I'm sure he has plenty of plans, but I'm like, what do I got to do now? Do I have to climb a mountain? Do I have to swim an ocean? What do you need next?
Just
No,
play
you
the
just need
game.
to make the great cyclopean great.
Well, that's
You
that's what I keep doing. You know what I mean? But it's like,
you
you
just
never
play
know.
the game till the game is done.
Yeah.
Joey's like, don't worry, I'm the chatbot for anime references.
Ah, you're more than that, Joey. I know who Joey is. You guys have seen Joey. You just don't know it. He's in the Mantown video.
Uh,
I kind of figured.
Yeah, man.
Right, I'm gonna leave him a link though, because I'm a shameless shill.
Well, it's
yeah.
funny because
Well,
well, he's already bought your
oh,
Melvin.
Oh, he did. Oh, that's right, he did.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he bought number one. Did you get number two up yet?
Number 2 is almost finished. It just has to be,
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
page.
Go ahead. Go
2
ahead.
pages need to be finished, and 2 or 3 pages need to be finished, and then these pages need to be lettered, and then it needs to be formatted into a book again.
Cool. I try and sell them on my comics, but I'll try that once I'm a little bit more settled and have more copies on me of them.
And I'm just doing my thing. I don't even know what we're doing really. We're going to shows.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing we can do right now. But like, I am very hopeful that like the kids are starting to pick up on it. I've been waiting on kids to catch on the Cyclopean, but like, I don't know how this other school district heard about us, but they did. And I'm like, okay, so there's another 400 or 500 kids I can tell about the Great Cyclopean. And
There you go.
because it's a captive audience, that's the best kind.
Well, you know what you do when you go there? You make sure you ask somebody.
Ask somebody what?
What time it is?
How they heard about you.
Yeah, I figure it might be my spread in the bikini calendar thing, but I don't know. I'll
He'll
ask.
roll up there with a whole bunch of beer in his hand and start swearing at the kids and throwing bottles at
Cigarette
them.
hanging out one mouth and a beer in the hand, and in the other hand, I could probably. Well, no, I won't even joke about that. I was going to say something bad.
And he goes,
I'm
"Remember,
just going to go as a kind young man interested in sharing
yeah,
the glory of comic books.
Yeah.
remember, kids, sex is always better without a condom."
That's actually not a
Joey,
true statement. Always use a condom, children. No,
oh,
that's
hopefully they're
horrible.
not. Hopefully
No, it's
they're
well.
not enough to say where they need to be
Remember,
using a
remember, a
condom.
lad used to be like a teenage boy. So, like, condoms used to be like, yeah, a teenage boy shouldn't have condoms because he shouldn't be. Now, granted, I am probably talking, 1880s, but
Do you even know where that line's from?
which one?
It was from a Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, where was it a stunt? Hanna Barbera had a man character, and so in the Harvey Birdman version, he was a drunk, and he's always giving. He's at the end of every episode of his TV show, he'd be giving advice, but he's drunk, so he's giving really bad advice. He goes, "Remember, sex is always better," and all of a sudden the screen turns off. It's hilarious.
This is actually kind of a true statement. Um, how do you do, fellow kids? In the club, it's crazy. Like Diana was, she made them all sign this agreement to behave.
She made them sign an agreement to behave.
There's now a code of conduct for our creators, and the only thing they did well was they didn't wrestle. Last week they wrestled like when we were getting ready to go. The boys were all over the place playing superhero. She did not like that, but she's right though. Like
Boys
I
for
kind
the
of
big
laugh.
boys.
Well, like the only time I tell them no is when they start climbing up shelving to jump off on the other kids. And that's because it's a little bit like wrestling. They're like, people's elbow. I'm like, no, 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 you don't. No, no, no. That will get us in trouble. But they'll like run around and tackle each other. And I'm like, yeah.
Somebody tried to do the people's elbow.
Yeah. I have one kid that likes to do elbows.
So it's kind of interesting that he knows who The Rock is.
Oh, he knows a lot of wrestlers.
Joey's like, I'm a sucker for fantasy Conan like stuff or occult. Was an easy sell for me. Well, I'm not sure whether a Canadian show will be an easy sell then, because it's a Christian superhero in Canada.
But he's got long hair, right?
No, he's got a mohawk.
Yeah, but doesn't he have a tail?
No,
How does he connect to the dragon with the wings? I've
that's
seen the
not
movie.
Avatar.
Oh.
And Joey says rules are meant to be broken.
Not all rules. That's where
Actually,
the cardinal rules
technically they are. They're rules because they're meant to keep you from doing stuff, whether it's good or bad.
Sometimes self-imposed rules are very good. Like, I made this rule not to put my tongue on my orange bright thing on the stove because it hurts. It's only on when you turn on the stove. It gets very hot, and your tongue will burn on it, even if it's wet.
And then you'll
True
be
story.
smoking.
You'll be crying. No, I never did anything quite so stupid, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what the truth is, though? It's getting to be 10:30. I need to go, guys. I'm dying.
It's past 10:30.
Well,
Well, for you,
10:32, I
sure.
guess, on my clock. But yeah, what
It's
is it for you right now?
7:32.
Yeah, for you.
7:32.
Yep.
I think
God,
it's
there's a whole world
8:32
out
for
there.
Kim.
You guys don't understand the joy of going to bed.
Yes, I do.
You
I
won't be
just go
going
to
to
bed
bed till
around
like 2
midnight.
o'clock in the morning.
Well, your time, I'll be going to bed around 3 in the morning.
You're mad, man. Get some sleep, man.
But my time, it'll be midnight.
That's no
So
excuse. You'll be up at
how's
3
the
in the
job
morning.
hunt? Oh, keep trying.
Yeah. I'm putting out lots of resumes, but nobody's
Have you, tr-
biting.
have you tried any temp jobs yet? Those are easy to get.
I'm trying to find some temp agencies in the city, and there doesn't seem to really be any.
Oh shit!
It's because it's Canada.
Hmm.
No,
Everything's
it's because
permanent there.
no. Back in Hamilton, there were temp agencies, but I might have to go town over. I don't know.
Well, something was going to turn up. Have you
Yeah.
considered mortuaries? Have you tried like funeral homes? They're usually looking
Not
for
yet.
they're always looking for
Yeah.
somebody to come in and
People are just dying to help.
you know what? I bet you I'm joking, but I bet you they usually do have positions because nobody wants to work in a place like that. So if you come in going, yeah, I'd like to start part-time and get trained up, somebody would be like, yep, come on in. Old
Have
Joey
you,
doesn't look like he's going to last another year. You need to come on in, sir. We'll train you right up.
have you tried grocery stores? Because those are easy to get into.
Yeah, I've put resumes into them digitally. I gotta start putting. I gotta start going physically to places.
So
But I gotta
depending
print up a.
Bug the shit out of them at this point.
Listen,
Until they hire
depending
you.
on your now, I'm not asking you to say anything or do anything, right? But depending on your record, if you're clean enough, you can always look at education. At least in America, I always tell this to people looking for work. Go to your local school district and ask if there's any positions. A lot of times these places are looking for janitors because they can't keep the positions filled. But if you get in there and you last the first 6 months and you start working in the union, you start getting, benefits and wages, and boom, every guy I know that started there is still there. And I've been working, 15 years, and I've watched these guys. They're good jobs. It's
Yeah.
just you just, the hardest part for a lot of these people is the record or just showing up on time. That's the biggest part. If they schedule you for 5, you show up at 5, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd have no problem showing up at whatever time, and I have no record.
Yeah, so I would check
I'm
that out.
squeaky clean.
As crazy as it
Yeah.
might sound, 'cause people don't think about it, but they're almost always looking for somebody. And colleges pay mad money. Mad money. Mad money, Rick. I'm talking mad money. Although in Canada, I think it might just be slightly aggravated. I don't think Canada's as crazy.
Yeah.
It's aggravated money, Rick. All right, listen, I do have to go to bed. My cat just, oh my gosh, she's crazy. I got to go see her. So you want to give a Melvin pitch before I close out?
Sure. Just remember to check out Melvin #1 Special Edition on Walmart, Amazon, and even Barnes and Noble.
If they buy all 3, can they get them signed from you if they like ship them to you and then pay to get them shipped back?
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I'm just being ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
They just
All right.
wait for him to come to his show in his area that he's going to. Or
Look at
their
this. I
area.
still haven't done a closing reel. I'm gonna slide it over.
All right, let's get this thing started, man.
Oh, look, that's how you spell my name, folks, by the way. Everybody was wondering. There's Jesus, Voltron Jesus.
Transformer Jesus.
Yeah, I put Voltron music to it because I liked it better for just an instrumental. Transformers,
Yeah.
you got that trademarked Transformers more. It's kind of obvious then. All right, so here I go, guys. Thank you for coming tonight, and anybody in the chat, Joey especially, because I think you might still be there. But Tony and Eric and God, I should get Magic Mirror. Does anybody remember Magic Mirror? It was some stupid thing at the end of one of those child shows, and the woman would hold up like this thing that looked like a handheld mirror, and she'd go,
Oh,
Magic
Romper Room.
Mirror. Yes, I see you,
Romper
Rick,
Room.
and I see you, Tim, and I see you, Diana, in the corner. we'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye, Joey. Like that. And I
Good
used to
Lord,
think she
please
was
don't do that.
actually, I thought she was actually seeing people, Tim. I was a little kid. I'm like, anytime she'd hit my name, which was about once or twice a month, Chris, I would get all excited. Mom, she saw me. Uh-huh. Yep, she did.
I see what you're doing, Chris. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Here we go, folks. Thank you for watching tonight. I'm going to kill the show.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.